Schaefer Buffalo Stadium here in Canyon, Texas, the site of tonight's Lone Star Conference opener between the West Texas A&M Buffaloes and the Texas A&M-Kingsville Javelinas. I'm Lucas Kinsey, joined by my broadcast partner, Bryce Sheets. We are glad to have you joining us for the broadcast, the opener for both these teams in the Lone Star Conference play. The Buffs, they started off 2-0, and they bolted to the number 14 ranking in the AFCA Top 25 poll. WT was 23rd last week, moved up to 14th. After convincing wins over Western Colorado here in the home opener. We saw that one, Bryce. And then last week on the road, they defeat Adams State 34-19, so they've knocked off two RMAC opponents. Bryce, what have you seen so far early in the season that you really like about the Buffaloes?
Well, again, a lot of young players defensively, but what we like defensively first is the fact they are preventing teams from really getting a running game going. Now, that will be important tonight, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But they've limited teams to under 130 yards per ball game, and so that means everybody's flying to the football. Offensively, very balanced, 245 yards through the air, 227 on the ground, and so, again, a nice balanced attack. And the other thing you like is if you look at our wide receivers, a lot of them, a lot of different ones are catching the football. So that means that Nick Gerber is really finding receivers when he needs to, from the standpoint that he's not locking in on one person. He's finding a lot of people out there.
You know, there was an impressive drive that the Buffs had last week. We talked about this. Adams State, they kind of chipped back into the game. They cut the lead to 8 with about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And the Buffs responded. They went on about a 3.5, 4-minute drive, 65 yards down the field, capped off with a Shaquille Brown touchdown run. In the past, Bryce, that's some times where on the road we would have seen WT maybe not make those plays.
No, that's exactly right. You might see him go 3 or 4 and out and punt the ball away. Instead, they were able to control the clock, had a super drive, and again, Shaquille Adams with 2 touchdowns this season under center. And so, again, you're utilizing a lot of different players in a lot of different ways.
Now, the Buffs' opponent tonight, Texas A&M-Kingsville, they're also 2 in a third year. Coach Salinas, Kent will have more about Coach Salinas down the sidelines when we talk to him. But Coach Salinas, as a former player, he knows about winning. He played for Kingsville in the 90s, kind of in the for them, won 4 Lone Star championships. Trying to get this program back. I mean, this Kingsville team, Bryce, you know, for a Lone Star Conference, if you know the tradition and the history of the LSC, Texas A&M Kingsville, 26 playoff appearances, multiple LSC championships. What do you like about this year's team, though? I mean, they're 2-0.
Yeah, they are 2-0, but the question is, have they played anybody strong enough yet to kind of really get their balance going? The thing you like about Coach Salinas is the fact he's used the portal well. He's gone out and got some different players, so he's trying to build that tradition back the way it was before. In fact, if you watch during the ball game, there'll be a commercial in the Lone Star Conference. It's Darryl Green, who played at Kingsville, who's on that commercial. And so, again, that was the heyday. He experienced it. He's trying to get them back to where they were.
So their first big test tonight here in conference play, Buffs and Javelinas. Okay, when we come back, we're going to have Kari Belmars take us beyond the athlete. We'll find out more about our talented student athletes here at West Texas A&M. It's Hall of Champions weekend here for West Texas A&M, and we've got a September showdown between 2 teams that know a lot about winning championships. It's the Buffaloes and the Javelinas right here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
I'm Kari Belmares, and welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Athlete. Today we're sitting down with Dylan Mata, who plays football for West Texas A&M University. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. So you're a senior now, and this is your last semester at WT, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So if I'm right, I saw a post of yours from Midnight Madness, and the caption read, "It hits different when you know that this could be your last time." Tell me, what emotions come with knowing that you've poured so much of who you are into football for it to just basically come to an end pretty soon?
It's almost an anxiety feeling, you know. I've been doing this since I was in first grade. But it also kind of calms me down knowing that I'm about to take this next step in my life and, you know, get into the professional world and, you know, start making money and stuff. You know, build up my future and stuff. So it's a lot of mixed emotions for sure.
No, I imagine. What would you say has been the biggest accomplishment that you could have only dreamed of as a kid that you've achieved in life now?
Getting to this point for sure. You know, I used to watch all kinds of college football highlights growing up. You know, only to be in this spot, you know, it's a blessing for sure. It's something I never overlooked. Yeah, definitely one of my biggest goals is getting to college and getting that degree with my name on it.
Does it ever feel real?
Nah.
No. Does it? That is a huge accomplishment, though. So congratulations. It's coming up soon here in a couple of months. So a college campus has many different walks of life, and everyone's on a different path, and you can kind of tell that everyone wasn't raised the same. What are some of the values that you feel you were brought up on that have molded you into the young man you are today?
Being true to myself for sure is one of the first things that comes to mind. You know, and doing what's right, you know, and what's ethical. Of course, my mom raised me to be an honest man. Loyalty is big for sure. As I stated earlier, you know, you never know what you're going to get with a thief or a murderer, or you know you're going to get with a thief or murderer, but you never know what you're going to get with a liar. So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Throughout the years, you've watched your teammates grow up, and in return, they've watched you. Besides the memories, what do you feel brotherhood has given you throughout these years?
It's given me something to look forward to every day. You know, I made plenty of memories with those guys. It's inspiring to be next to them. You know, the people in my class too. Like, I committed here with one of my best friends, Max, and watching him grow up next to me is pretty crazy. When I think about some of the stuff we used to do, and now we're focused, locked in, about to graduate and stuff. So
that's exciting.
For sure.
You and your mother seem to have an inseparable bond, and over the years, I'm sure she's watched you achieve in life and been your biggest fan. What are you most proud of her for, and what would you say you admire the most about her?
I admire the most, to me, she's a superhero, you know. Hardest working woman, or individual really, that I've ever met. I admire the fact that she just puts her head down and works. You know, everything that she's ever said she was going to do, she's done. So it's hard to overlook that.
No, for sure.
You know, I feel like she set the bar pretty high for me. So, you know.
Yeah, no, I imagine. You're grateful. I get it.
For sure, blessed.
Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it. And stay tuned for another episode of Beyond the Athlete.
WT student athletes drink low-fat chocolate milk post-workout because it helps replenish and restore muscles quickly to their peak potential. Scientific studies suggest that the immediate benefits of low-fat chocolate milk include boosted performance, improved training, and higher recovery rates in athletes. Add low-fat chocolate milk to your post-workout routine.
Go Bucks!
Well, welcome back to Bain Schaefer Buffalo Stadium. Let's head down to the sideline. Kent Johnson, a report on the Javelinas. I can't hear him.
that the Buffs won the LSC championship. Now, when the Javelinas have the football, they're going to try and run it. They've got a three-headed monster at running back, three individuals who are interchangeable, all get the job done. Christian Anderson, Tennille Carter, and Roger Hagan have combined for 355 yards and 7 touchdowns over the first 2 games. The quarterback is Jacob Cavazos. He's completed 67% of his passes, and he has incredible ability to stretch out plays with his scrambling ability. They like to utilize the tight end in the passing game. They'll drag him across the middle in typical tight end fashion, but every once in a while they're not afraid to release him long. 14 different receivers have made catches for A&M-Kingsville this year, so the Buff secondary and linebacker core is going to have to be alert in their coverages. Defensively, defensive end DeMarcus Hendricks and linebacker Khalid Walker lead the way, combining for 21 tackles. As a unit, this Javelina squad over the first 2 games has registered 4 interceptions and 14 tackles behind the line. And let's not forget special teams. In their first 2 games, the Javelinas have already blocked 2 punts. Tonight's weather couldn't be better. 88 degrees at game time. It'll be in the upper 70s by halftime. Winds out of the southwest 15 to 20 mile an hour. Shouldn't affect the kicking game. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have more of tonight's pregame show after this timeout. You're watching West Texas A&M football on the LSC Digital Network.
Since 1933, the Panhandle Plains Historical Museum has housed the vast history of Panhandle Plains, given back to the community, and provided educational resources to those who live here. Located on the campus of West Texas A&M University, PPHM is free to all students, faculty, and staff at WT. We offer volunteer opportunities, internships, and hands-on research experience. From prehistoric times to pioneer travels, there's something for everyone at the largest history museum in Texas. Stop by and see us sometime. Oh, and don't forget, go Buffs!
When you choose natural gas, chocolate chip cookies get a little tastier. Homes get a little cozier. Bank accounts tend to put on some weight. Towels get fluffier. Showers stay hotter for longer. And our blue planet gets a little greener. When it comes to choosing energy that's clean and efficient, nothing else could be more American. Atmos Energy, your natural gas company.
Bud Light, proudly brewed
in the heart of Texas.
We are Carpet Tech, and we are family. More than carpet cleaners, we're a team. Diving right in, not afraid to invest in our work and each other. We're killing it day in and day out, never shrinking from a challenge. Our people are 1 part passion, 1 part grit, and about a zillion parts awesome. And we are always looking to add to our family. So what are you waiting for?
It's got the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of, and now it's here. First Financial Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly, local approval. It's service that just comes naturally to us, much like a love of tradition comes naturally to you. First Financial Bank, you first. Member FDIC.
Well, welcome back to West Texas A&M University as we get set for tonight's matchup between Kingsville and West Texas A&M. And again, we anticipate for the Lone Star Conference for this to be a big send-off for both teams today.
All right, we'll have the national anthem for you. Well, great job there by the West Texas A&M band with the national anthem, Bryce. And it's a great evening for football. It's Educators Night here at Bain Schaefer Buffalo Stadium. So Education Credit Union sponsoring tonight. And if you're an educator, you and your family, get in free. A lot of teachers through the week were talking about this, so we're expecting a big crowd.
Yeah, we do expect a big crowd. And so, again, great opportunity for educators to come on out with their family, but everybody else, beautiful sunshiny evening. And so we get set for this one today.
Okay, let's talk about the West Texas A&M keys to the game for the Buffaloes. And, Bryce, we're going to start. We always like to start with the linemen, right? They don't get as much love, these offense and defensive linemen, but coaches always tell you, that's really what makes things go, and they don't get enough pub. But tonight for WT, we're talking about the defensive line in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. The front three, but really the front seven. The linebackers have to come up, fill those holes. This team likes to run, and so, again, how do you stop them? You fill the running lanes.
Yeah.
And that's where the front seven have to come up. That means your secondary has to be alive because they're going to be moving around, not only to find running lanes, too, to stop, but also watch the wide receivers.
Yeah, we heard Kent Johnson talking about the Javelinas. They're going to throw 3-4 running backs at you. Tennille Carter's been really good. Christian Anderson carried the ball a lot last week for Texas A&M-Kingsville in their win over Sul Ross State. So for WT, that defensive line, we have seen them through 2 games, Bryce, be as advertised. The coaches talked about him in the preseason and said, look, we've got more depth this year.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the nice thing, especially the defensive front three. They can rotate in about 5 or 6 guys, and so that means you don't get overly tired.
Yeah.
You stay fresh, and there's really no drop-off when you're rotating them in.
Talking about guys like Michael Smith, Antonio Iwagwu, Goo, as we just like to say, Goo.
It's easy to say
which
Goo.
is a great defensive lineman name. Xavier Rivera, good to see him back out there.
Yeah.
And then you have these guys that have come in, like Eric Goodman, a younger player.
Yes.
So we're looking for the defensive line to play a big part in tonight's game. Second key, can the offense for West Texas A&M stay multi-dimensional? Their opener against Western Colorado, Russ Martin put together a great game plan. Nick Gerber looked fabulous back there at the quarterback spot, didn't miss many throws. The running backs were going as well, and the offensive line did a great job. So that's a perfect scenario, but can they keep this going? Can they keep the run pass going?
And that's the key. Like you said earlier, they have a balanced offensive attack, and so they want to stay balanced. That means mixing in the run and the pass. But in order to do that, you've got to get the running game going early. So we hope, or we plan to see some early attacks with the run game. That just opens up everything else for Nick Gerber to really roll out himself, or just to look straight up over the middle and try to find somebody coming across.
Now, we knew about Jared Compton coming into this season. We also knew a little bit about Isaiah Smallwood, and he had a good first game here against Western Colorado. But we learned about a new player last week, Bryce, on the road, the redshirt freshman from Saxe, Texas. And a great running back name, by the way, the last name, Okoye, Brian Okoye. He turned some heads last week.
Well, and again, it was nice because you bring in somebody like Brian. He got to play a little bit in the first game too, but he came into that one last week, and it seemed like he found a comfort level, found some great running lanes. He was the leading rusher in that contest last week.
He's a bigger running back, too.
He's a little bit more of a, not a bowling ball, but really more of a bruiser, something along that line. He likes to attack the line. And so, again, with Jared Compton and Isaiah Smallwood, that gives you some different flavors as far as the running back game is concerned, and so take advantage of that.
Now, these wide receivers, they're going to face a tough test tonight in this Kingsville secondary. Look at the Kingsville secondary, and you're going 6'2", 6'1", over 200 pounds. They're going to be very physical. They're going to try to jam the receivers at the line of scrimmage.
So, again, where's your sneak ability, in other words? How are you able to get around those guys, maneuver away from? Yes, they have the size advantage, so hopefully we have the speed advantage and have some confusing things that take place. I heard Nick Gerber say this week, we got some things that after 2 games, people look at tendencies. We got some things we got to mix up a little bit.
Now, the third key, the Buffs need to strike some fear in the Lone Star Conference. Now, you've gotten some attention. You're ranked number 14 in the country. But you're looking at the first 2 teams and saying, well, maybe Western Colorado wasn't as good as that number 17 preseason ranking. Adams State, they're a little down, obviously, in the RMAC. So you won those 2 games easily. Now you got a Lone Star Conference opponent coming in. You can't look ahead to next week, which is number 5 Angelo State on the road. But, Bryce, they've got a great crowd tonight. This is an opportunity for the Buffs to prove they've got that number 14 ranking.
Well, the thing that Hunter Hughes talked about this week is we need to come out with some intensity. And last week, he felt like they did not on the road. And, again, road games are tough in order to get the crowds aren't the same. You don't have the same atmosphere like you do here at Bain Schaefer. And so the thing about it is, can we get that energy going early, whether it's from the crowd or ourselves? We've got to be able to really get some momentum early in this one. And really that takes the opposing team out of it if you're able to do it.
You know, it reminds me of one of my favorite movies, Gladiator, right? Maximus, where you get that crowd going and you say, are you not entertained?
Yes.
That's what we hope to see tonight here at Bain Schaefer Buffalo Stadium.
Absolutely, and that's the whole point, is to entertain the crowd, get them into it, and keep them in it here in the early going.
All right, we're going to take one quick timeout. We'll come back, and we'll have the X-Bar X Factor, also the coin toss. And we'll get you ready. The opening kickoff here, West Texas A&M taking on Texas A&M-Kingsville. Back right after this.
90 years, the Lone Star Conference has been committed to excellence. What began in 1931 as a 5-team conference has grown to 18 institutions spanning 4 states. And while membership has changed, the pursuit of athletic success and academic excellence has never wavered. 119 national championships, over 2,000 All-Americans, and nearly 300 academic All-Americans. Celebrating 90 years of success, this is the Lone Star Conference.
Again, you go back into the mid-'80s, '86, when they played for a Lone Star Conference championship in Kingsville. Very emotional game. It's kind of built on that and carried over from there ever since. And so, again, there's always that kind of a thing that's happening between for West Texas A&M and Kingsville.
Here comes Thunder 14 and the West Texas A&M Buffaloes. Good thing Kent Johnson got out of the way in time, Bryce. We got to keep our sideline reporter safe down there.
That's the one thing you want to watch out for. It's not the running of the bull that you want to be in front of. So.
Bryce, let's talk about our X-Bar Steakhouse X Factor of the game. And this is a defensive back that is a young player, but he has come in and he is playing like he's a junior on the field. That's Sign Shuva, number 38, one of the cornerbacks.
Yeah, only a freshman, 5'9", 170, 13 tackles. He's had 2 tackles for loss. And again, that's kind of hard to do from a corner position. Not totally, obviously, it's not indefensible. You can't do it. You can do it. But that means you're anticipating perfectly coming in to make those tackles when you need to. And so he's really started off so far well this season.
Yeah, that was one of the things that you and I were wondering about. The secondary, they were having to replace some guys that they lost last year, both from the corner spot and in the safety position. Preston Stadowski, he's been really good as well from that safety spot. We look at, there's a look at the sidelines down there for the Buffaloes as they're getting ready to start this one for West Texas A&M. The stats, Bryce, offensively 39 points a game, 461 total yards. Pretty balanced, 224 on the ground, 237 through the air.
That's what I like. I like that balance. That's kind of how they were last year, too, a little bit, especially in the early or toward the end of the season. They got really balanced, and that made a big difference when we had kind of that winning streak at the end last year. And so you like to see that because that makes it tough for teams to defend. What do we key on? Do we key on the running backs? Do we key on the wide receivers? Who do we key on? And so you make it tough when you do that.
So I heard this on a radio broadcast a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to steal it or just use it, I guess, because it's a term that the coaches are using. It's called Tanoga, okay? Takeaways, no giveaways.
Right.
So you want to be the team that obviously is forcing more turnovers and not turning the ball over.
Right.
West Texas A&M so far through 2 games, Bryce, they had, remember, 4 turnovers forced in the first win against Western Colorado.
Right.
last week. They did a great job, forced 2 turnovers against Adams State, and that's such a big factor whenever you can do that, turn the teams over, get your offense in a great spot.
No, you really can. I mean, that's the thing about a turnover. Usually that is what happens, is your offense is in a good position. They're in a good place on the field, and so they usually have a short field to work with, so that's usually key. The other thing about it, I mean, coaches talk all the time about the takeaway battle, who won the takeaway battle, but as you said, Tanoga, you don't want to give it away, you want to take it away, and so that's key for your defense.
Well, in Texas A&M-Kingsville, they're still looking for their first forced turnover of the season. Defensively, they have had the blocked punts, but in terms of the interceptions and the forced fumbles, that's something they're going to be trying to do a better job of tonight. The Kingsville Javelinas a 60-0 win in their opener against North American University, and then 35-14 a win against Sul Ross State.
And so they're only allowing, look at their defense, they're only allowing 7 points a ball game, so they know how to clamp down. And again, a lot of transfer students in, and so that's the thing that, how have they gelled? And hopefully the Buffaloes can take advantage that they haven't as of yet.
All right, we're going to go down to our coin toss. Bryce, there's a familiar face down there. That's just inducted into the WT Hall of Champions last night, Eugene Sims, who played for the Rams in the NFL.
That's right. He had a nice NFL career and, again, played on the line for WT. He was on the left side of the line and really anchored that offensively and did a great job, and obviously carried that over into the NFL.
We're going to get a chance, hopefully, at halftime for Kent Johnson to visit with Eugene. Let's head down to midfield for the coin toss.
Welcome to Bain Schaefer Stadium. Kingsville is a visiting team. You will call the toss. The conference logo is heads, and the teams are tails. What is your call?
Tails.
The call is tails. Mr. Sims, will you please do the honor?
Take it tails, sir. That's ours.
You've won the toss. You want to defer? You want the ball? And you're kicking from that end.
Kicking. Okay.
Kingsville has won the toss. Defer to the second half. We'll kick off from this end.
All right, so you heard that right there. Kingsville won the toss. They defer to the second half. The Buffaloes will get it to start out. 92 degrees is our current temperature, and so a warm fall day, if you want to call it. We're almost to fall anyway. The other thing we want to watch tonight, too, wind out of the southwest at about 17 miles per hour. So that just means the wind is kind of swirling in Bain Schaefer. So the Buffs, when they get it, they'll be going into that southwest wind.
Great crowd on hand tonight, and for the Buffaloes to get the football first, Texas A&M-Kingsville kicking off.
And so, again, this is where that little bit of jitteriness that you have before the start, you come out with, especially for the Buffaloes, you come out with the Buffalo and you get excited. You see the crowd, the noise the student section is making, and the whiteout across the way. And so, again, that's what makes this thing so fun. It really gets players pumped up to play.
The defense for the Javelinas this season, Bryce, allowing just 7 points a game, 88 yards on the ground they give up per game. They haven't allowed a single rushing touchdown. That's pretty impressive. 141 passing yards allowed per game. Opponents are 4 of 24 on third downs. And so Kingsville defensively has done a good job. But again, you just know that the first 2 games for them have not been against opponents that are the highest of quality. Tonight they're going to get that test, and for both sides. WT has something to prove, but I think Kingsville does as well.
No, they definitely do. They want to see how far they've come along with this mixture of talent that they put together this year for Coach Javelinas. And so, again, how have we progressed? How have we improved from week 1 to week 2, and now week 2 to week 3?
To kick off for Texas A&M-Kingsville, number 37, Juan Ocampo. Back to receive for the Buffaloes, a dangerous return man in Jared Compton over on the far side of the field, and Heston Marshall. Toe to leather, and we're underway with Marshall taking it from the 2-yard line. A quick burst over the right side. He's got a nice return out near the 30-yard line, so good field position for the Buffaloes. No flags on that one. Let's look at the Buffaloes' offensive starting lineup tonight. And for West Texas A&M, Nick Gerber, obviously the signal caller there, but Bryce, offensive Tight ends, Jeremy Carnbay had a good game last week, and he's a great blocker, but had a couple of catches as well.
Yeah, he really did. And, of course, Hunter Hughes wants to utilize the tight ends a lot more this season and has so far in the early going.
Offensive line, Adam Alcorta, Zach Dietrich, Zane Madison, the second-team All-LSC center in the middle. We'll also see Patrick Gray, Samuel Treadway over at the right tackle spot. They go with Compton on the left side, cut down immediately. Great job there for Kingsville by the defensive back, Amos Coleman.
So Coleman does a nice job as he comes up from that corner position, kind of read the run. It was over toward his side, so he just cuts at an angle and is able to trip up Jared for a 2-yard, really a 2-yard loss.
Now the Javelinas are wanting some payback against Compton. Last year he ran for 145 yards, caught a touchdown, ran a touchdown, so he likes playing against the Javelinas. They give it to him again. Compton over the left side across to the 31-yard line. So far through 2 plays, pretty good push up front defensively by Kingsville.
Well, again, comfortable with Alcorta and Zach Dietrich, and that's the left side of the line. That's kind of where they want to run. And so if they can kind of get that going, again, this, of course, will be a throwing situation. So let's see how the Buffs play it.
4-man defensive front for Texas A&M-Kingsville. They don't blitz here. The Buffs do a good job, but it's intercepted right in the hands of Coleman at the 35-yard line. There's that interception, that turnover that the Javelinas wanted. And that one really, Bryce, uncharacteristic of Gerber. It's like he didn't see the defensive back.
And that's what I wonder. I don't think he did because he was throwing it to – he had a man coming across the middle. We watch on the replay here. You see there's a receiver coming across right there at the bottom of your picture, but I don't think he saw Coleman there at all, and he just stepped into the passing lane and had a big guy in the tee.
So a nice job defensively by Kingsville.
To go to, you talked about it, the thing you don't want to do is give it away, give a short field, and that's exactly what Kingsville has.
For Nick Gerber, just the second interception thrown this season, and so we see the Kingsville offense on the field for their first possession. It's Christian Anderson over the right side, and he gains 1 yard before Chris Thomas comes up on the outside. Bryce, Chris Thomas, he's off to a great start. 21 tackles now.
He really is, and again, he is that motivational leader out there for the defense. And Coach Hunter Hughes talked about him this week. He's not a big rah-rah guy as far as practice and everything else. He's very emotional. We've seen him be very emotional out on the field. But the thing is, he just leads by example, and he flies to the football.
No Xavier Rivera tonight. Just got the report from Kent Johnson. He is not suited up. A little bit of a lower leg injury, so we won't see him. Play action across the middle. That ball with way too much juice. I mean, there's a fastball, and then there's an extra fastball.
Yeah, with that extra secret sauce, and that one had it that time. I mean, the receiver wasn't even expecting it. By the time he got his hands up, it already whizzed past his helmet and was on out toward the back to where the herd has the cattle all lined up.
Let's see if we can quickly just look at those defensive starters for West Texas A&M. Throw that graphic up here on 3rd down and long. Cavazos, pocket collapses, scrambles around, and the whistle blows.
Wow.
Was there a timeout?
False start.
Oh, there was a false start.
78.
Okay.
5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Defensively, Bryce, the Buffs go with Michael Smith, Dylan Mata, who tonight will wear 95. We kind of go back and forth between
old number.
10 and 95. We'll also see Samote Samate in the middle, and then a lot of Antonio. There we go. There's the starters down there. Antonio Iwuagwu Gu. We talked about that secondary, though. Also, another thing to look for tonight, it says JT Cavender, and no
Terrence
JT.
Clark.
Yeah, Terrence Clark gets the start. All right, so 3rd down and long after the penalty, and again, the pass off the mark.
Oh, man, they're going to call that as a late hit on the quarterback, and again, that was just a great rush up the middle.
Was it Michael Smith?
It was, and so, again, he came crashing in, but the thing is...
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defensive number 4, 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
So a big break for Kingsville because that was going to be 4th down and 14. And put Coach Salinas in a situation where he was going to have to probably punt the football, but now
it's a free pass. And you get
1st down.
Yeah, and so you did a great job of stopping them on the run. They had a bad pass, and then you have a penalty that, again, a little questionable. We'll see as the game progresses how they call that.
All right, so the Javelinas with new life. 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. Anderson. Strong running over the right side. Good push by that Javelina offensive line. It's okay to call them the Hogs tonight because they are the Hogs.
They are. And again, that's the thing on the right side. Troy Billman, 6'3", 315. Brandon Jackson, 6'3", 295, so some good size over there on the right side. In fact, their offensive line, right around 300 pounds on average, and so good size, 6'2" or better for everybody, and so again, that's where they're going to make their bread.
Well, and a lot of times you're going to see the two tight ends on the field as well. Walker Ring, 225 pounds. Arcles, who's 235 pounds. The give is to Anderson. He is smacked for no gain. That was shut down in a hurry, and that was Goo that beat his man off the line of scrimmage.
Just a nice surge that time off the left side of the line. You look and see how strong Antonio is. Goo, 91, as he come crashing in there, and he was able to make that stop.
So it's a 3rd down and 5 now here for the Javelinas. This season on 3rd down so far, 63%. They're 11 for 12 scoring in the red zone. The tight end goes in motion. Give is to Anderson, one man to beat. Breaks one tackle, goes through Chris Thomas's would-be tackle, and Anderson, looking very strong, picks up that 1st down. You got to like the way that number 28's running the football right now.
And again, that was a strong run. Went off the right side that time. Nobody really kind of gravitated over there. We were more stacked up in the middle, and so that left that running lane over on the right side available, and Anderson just took advantage of it.
Wow. A couple of good-looking runs for number 28, the junior. He's a 5'11", 205-pounder. Out of Cypress, Texas. Last week against Sul Ross State, 19 carries, 109 yards, and a touchdown. This time the quarterback, Cavazos, keeps it. He's going to be stopped short right at the maybe the half-yard line.
So again, great position for Kingsville. And a team that likes to run, this is what you're going to do. You're going to stack the box up and just throw everything you have at it to drive and dive over that goal line.
Cavazos, he's a slippery guy. He's 5'11", 180 pounds. But if I'm Kingsville right now, Bryce, I'm giving it to Anderson.
Right, no, absolutely. And he's to the right of the quarterback.
He'll stay in the gun. Still with the two tight ends. Give is to Anderson, and no chance. The Buffs not able to slow down number 28. It's a touchdown. Texas A&M-Kingsville with 10:40 to play in the first quarter. And if you're the Javelinas, you kick off to start the game. You get the turnover, and then you march right down the field. Here's a look at the touchdown again.
Again, just off the right side of the line. Again, they love that big right side. They go that way. They primarily went that entire way on this drive on the right side. And so that's where some of the adjustments will come for WT.
So this will be an extra point try for Gilbert Garza, sophomore. Wears number 99. Love it when the kickers have those 90s numbers. He puts it right through the uprights. And so the Kingsville Javelinas kind of quieted this crowd early in the game. Still a lot of time in the first quarter, just 10:40 to play. And the score, 7-0, Texas A&M-Kingsville with the lead. You're watching the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
Choosing the right countertops for your kitchen can be tricky. Nowadays, there are hundreds of colors, patterns, and textures and materials that range from natural to engineered stone. Marble Depot is here for you throughout every step of the process. And yes, we do have a lot of options that might make that decision a little harder, but we're also going to ask the right questions so that you get the most out of your investment. So come by our showroom and let us help create what you've been dreaming of.
University campus in Canyon, Texas, a 7-play, 30-yard drive following the turnover, following the interception. Christian Anderson takes it in from 1 yard out. Extra point is good, and Kingsville grabs the early lead here on the road, 7-0 over West Texas A&M. And again, good crowd still filing in here for this one tonight. And again, Educators Night, so teachers get in for free. Their family comes along, they get in for free as well.
Okay, Buffs send back Heston Marshall and Jared Compton again on the kick return. And a really strong kick there. It's going to go over the head of Marshall. So second opportunity now for Nick Gerber and the Buffalo offense. First time on the field, Bryce. They had the interception, which led to Kingsville taking advantage and scoring points. Want to see the Buff offense settle in and hopefully see what we saw a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and that's what we'd love to see, obviously, right now. And the thing about it, Nick Gerber, like I said before, I don't think he saw the safety sitting there, or really the corner that had come across in that crossing pattern, kind of sitting low in the passing lane, and that's how he came away with the interception.
Empty backfield here on first down. Gerber across the middle, complete, and that's a big first down. Good completion for the Buffaloes.
Yeah,
to
nice.
Hunter Kaufman out of the slot position there.
Yeah, Hunter just, again, like you said, in the slot, you watch in the replay, he comes across the middle. It's a crossing pattern. He gets it in stride and just takes it up the field, picks up the first.
Again, these receivers stacked way outside. Kingsville stays with that four-man front defensively. Middle of the field wide open. It's a handoff to Compton. Good run. He's cut down after a pretty good gain by the defensive back, Isaiah Jacobs, number 11. Last week, Isaiah had quite a game, Bryce. He blocked 2 punts for the Javelinas.
Got a lineman coming in substitution for our left tackle. And so, again, for the Buffaloes going out, Adam Elcorta takes a breather here real quick.
Grayson Williams in at right tackle. He's a 6'5", 260-pound sophomore. Compton takes the carry over the left side, taken down by Ezra Thibodeau, 270-pound junior out of Houston. 3 quarterback hurries already on the season. Buffs faced with a 3rd and short here.
Again, you want to get the running game going. You want to establish it. They'll send 3 wideouts to the near side, but you'd still like to be able to run right up the middle.
Kingsville with a couple of big defensive linemen in the middle. One of those is Alex Smith, transfer from Kilgore College. He's 315 pounds. Out of the shotgun on 3rd and short. Gerber in trouble, trying to escape. He's got some speed, has to throw this one out of bounds. Just could not get, Gerber, when he gets out of the pocket, a lot of the good things happen, but Kingsville did a nice job that time containing him.
So credit Kingsville's defense here in the earlier going. They caused a interception. They were able to march it down for a touchdown on a short field, 30 yards. And so the Buffaloes now, again, look like on this series they started off well, but they kind of ground to a halt, and so they're going to have to punt this one away.
You got to be careful with number 13, Jason Gaines, back there to return this punt. He averages on his kick returns 28 yards a return. Ollie Yart kicks it high in the air, and this is not a good punt at all. It's going to be downed at the 43-yard line. Excellent field position for Kingsville.
And that just showed you a little bit how the wind is affecting a little bit as it went high in the air, and you could see the wind kind of catch it, hold it, and just drop it.
All right, we'll take a timeout, come back, and Kingsville on the field again. The Javelinas lead 7-0, 8:49 left here in the first quarter. Back right after this. Is it not? Field, and so that signals the timeout, but we'll stay right here. We'll put that timeout in our pocket, Bryce. Javelinas will stay in the shotgun, and on first down, Cavazos. Pass complete at the 40-yard line. Oh, slippery play there by the receiver to pick up about 4 or 5 yards there. Nice one on the outside for...
Yeah, Craig Clements makes a nice move as he caught that one. And really, he was stopped dead to rights. He would have been for probably a yard loss, but he sidestepped the tackler. In other words, he was going to his left, kind of countered, went back to his right to the middle of the field, and instead turns that into a 4-yard gain.
Clements, 5'10", 175-pound junior out of Corpus Christi, transfer from Cisco Junior College. A lot of players on the roster transfers from junior colleges, some of them from FCS schools. This is a reverse. And Jason Gaines going the wrong direction, and he's going to be hog-tied way behind the line of scrimmage. You're going to mark him forward progress at the 41-yard line. That was great pursuit by the Buffaloes. They were not fooled with that reverse.
Yeah, that's something they saw on tape. You watch right here. He goes across, and they just all come up. And so, again, the running back trying to throw a block, but he just got thrown back. And so they just countered him, got him around him, wouldn't let him go.
And Bryce, let's give credit. Leo Covington was number 43, that outside linebacker. He took on the block and really took out 2 of those blockers, kept the edge, and now it's 3rd down and 12 for Texas A&M-Kingsville. Cavazos being chased and taken down by Goo. A big sack for the Buffaloes.
Boy, nice route that time for Goo, too, because he takes a step up, sees the quarterback going to his right, to his left, I should say. So he goes to the left on a nice angle, cuts the angle, and was able to take the quarterback down. Nice stop as we watch, right? Well, that's the play before, but good play. Here we go, right here. Well, that's the play from before.
So a great job for West Texas A&M defensively. They hold the Javelinas, force a punt. Back to receive this punt for West Texas A&M. Tyler Sweet stands on his own 25-yard line. Cavazos, the quarterback's also the punter. He's got a good leg. Kicks this one down to the 22-yard line. Sweet picks up a block and lost the ball at the end of the play, and I think Texas A&M-Kingsville recovered this fumble.
Well, great speed for Sweet, but he forgot the one thing that you got to do. You've got to protect the ball. You've got to hold on to it. And that time he just kind of ran haphazardly and just lost it. And so
here's the replay. It was number 44 on the fumble recovery.
Fielding on the field is a fumble recovered by Kingsville. First down, Kingsville.
Blake Jacques with.
You see right here as he takes this little burst, but he's got the wall. You can see the ball hanging out to the side kind of wildly. And so credit, I think is that number 3?
It was 9, Keon Clary.
9 came up and knocked it out of his hand. And so that's what you're instructed to do. When you got the ball that loose, try to knock it out, come up and knock it away. And again, now 2 turnovers for WT.
That's right, and it keeps that Buff offense on the sideline.
That's right.
They were ready to get back on the field after the defense did an excellent job holding the Javelinas. Now Christian Anderson takes the first down carry.
The last time on a drive at Kingsville when they scored, we had made a stop, got a penalty, and that kept that drive alive, and they went ahead and took it on into the end zone. So again, you got to play smart, but you got to give your defense a little bit of a break too as well.
Anderson off to a good start here. He has, after that carry, they'll give him 7 attempts for about 30 yards on the ground. Tight end comes in motion on 2nd down and 5. Cavazos swings it out to Anderson. Did not get the blocking that he wanted from his receivers out there. Loses yardage. The Buff secondary does a nice job.
Whole Oster over there as well, the linebackers. And that's what you want. You want your outside linebacker to read that play. A little pass in the flat on the near side. And so he comes up, forces it back to the middle. The defense is able to come up and make it for really no gain on that play.
To this point, we've seen Cavazos try to throw down the field a little bit, but he's been off the mark on some of his passes down the field.
Well, and he's had pressure, so that's the thing. Can the Buffs continue to put pressure on the quarterback?
This time the pass is on the mark. It's going to be short of the first down. Good catch in traffic by Jason Gaines, but he's taken down immediately right at the 35-yard line. And look at this, Bryce. No hesitation. They're bringing the field goal unit on.
Absolutely. So they feel a lot, again, the wind at their back. And so a lot of confidence in your field goal kicker. They're going to let him try a 52-yarder.
That is a lot of confidence in Gilbert Garza, who's 2 for 3 this season on field goals. His long this year is 31 yards. We'll see what he can do. Ball from the 35-yard line. High snap. They get the hold down, and this kick just does barely clear it.
Wow.
So the accuracy was great. He's fired up down there, Garza. And that field goal good from 52 yards out. Kingsville takes advantage of another WT turnover, and it's 10-0 Javelinas with the lead. We're back right after these messages.
Welcome to MetaDrive Pharmacy, Canyon's hometown pharmacy for over 32 years. We greet you by name, and our pharmacists take the time to counsel you and answer all your questions. Our Health Mart Pharmacy specializes in serving our community with fast, friendly, professional service and the highest quality medicines and health products. We accept most insurance plans, including Medicaid and Medicare, and we offer free in-town delivery to your home or business. Come visit us for all your healthcare needs.
Well, welcome back to Bain Schaefer Stadium as the Javelinas from Kingsville go on a 4-play drive that covers 7 yards. They settle for a Gilbert Garza 52-yard field goal. It was just enough. All you got to have is just enough to get over the goalpost, and it was. And from 52 yards, that gives the Javelinas a 10-0 lead.
Well, and this is just complimentary football right now by the Javelinas. Coach Salinas has got to be excited because defense is doing their job. They're forcing turnovers. Offense has turned that into points.
And that's the thing. You cannot have turnovers like the Buffaloes have had. An interception that, again, I still believe Nick Gerber just didn't see the defender in front. And then after they do score, we have the kickoff, and then you fumble it trying to make too much. You got to protect the football. That's the big thing. And so, again, you got to protect the football. They're going to change the deep men on this one. So, and again, that was following a punt, I should say. And so you got to protect the football.
Defensive coordinator for Texas A&M-Kingsville, Jonathan Petty. In looking up some stuff on him, 6 years he spent at Hardin-Simmons. There's the secondary coach and was an All-American player at Hardin-Simmons. So the staff that Coach Salinas has put together is good. You know, he's been there 3 years, but his first year, Bryce, was COVID.
They didn't really.
No, they played a couple of spring games.
Right.
So he's had some time, but he's had to be patient bringing in the guys that he wants on his roster.
Not bad, 5-5 last year, but again, as you put in notes, they didn't beat the top tier, and so here's the first challenge.
Yes.
Can you beat the top tier? This is one of the top tier teams.
Yeah, if you're a Javelina fan, you look at last season, you say we're 5-5. We beat all the teams we were supposed to, but we just didn't beat, one of those teams at Midwestern State or a West Texas A&M at Angelo State, that caliber. So this is their chance for Texas A&M-Kingsville. And to this point, Bryce, still 4:38 left to play in the first quarter. It looks good.
It looks good, great for the Javelinas. And the thing about it is you come into a hostile environment, you know the stadium's going to be loud, the crowd's going to be behind the home team. So what's the need? Take the crowd out of it.
Yep.
They've been able to do that early.
All right, Buff offense, see if they can get something going here. 2 running backs on the field, one to each side of Gerber, with Isaiah Smallwood, his first time in the lineup. It's a handoff to Compton over the right side. And he's going to be taken out of bounds after a gain to the 30-yard line. They were trying to get the edge with Compton.
Coming up after the tackle on that, Isaiah Jacobs. Again, got his vibrato on the sideline with WT, wanted to let him know that don't come my way. And so he was able to make the stop.
Smallwood, the running back, hard running over the left side. It's going to break free of a tackle and come up about 1 yard short of the first down. Good blocking over the left side there for the Buffaloes offensive line.
Good change of pace, good speed. Isaiah Smallwood has great speed, and so again, uses the left side of the line as the buffer to get through, and then able to pick up about 7 on that carry.
All right, here's Gerber out of the gun. Buffs need to get this first down on 3rd and short. Smallwood does. Plunges forward. Maxwell Perez in there to block as well. Tight end spot, and the Buffs needed that one. They need this drive to continue.
Yeah, they really do. And again, the thing is, they're, like we had talked about, trying to establish the run because that opens it up for your wide receivers. Credit Kingsville, they have a great secondary team. There's a nice run off the left side again.
This time the Javelinas plug it up after about 3 yards there for Smallwood. Rotating some defensive linemen in right now. The Javelinas bring in number 98. That's James Perez. So they'll keep their guys fresh as well on that front line. Here's Smallwood. Good job of staying up and tattooed pretty hard at the end of the run. Good tackle for the Javelinas by number 42, Khalid Walker.
Again, Kingsville runs a 4-man front, but they really walk a linebacker up there, so they have 5 guys on the line. And so they're trying to make it difficult. You got to put a hat on a hat, so they're trying to make it difficult for the Buffaloes to block. Now, WT, of course, has tight end out there as well.
Here's Shaq Brown lined up at fullback. They're going to give it to him. And Shaq, look at Shaq go and pick up that first down. You know, he's a tight end, but Bryce, he may have found his new role. They may start using Shaq like the Buffs have used Jordan Johnson.
Well, I was going to say, is he Jordan Johnson Jr.? Watch him go off the right side that time, spins away, and picks up about 7 on the carry, enough for the first down.
Well, who wants to tackle 6'2", 250 pounds?
Not many. Not me.
All right, first down Buffs. And here's Brian Okoye. Again, had a great game last week on the road against Adams State. He's going to gain 2 yards here. And Okoye, mentioned from Saxe, Texas, Garland Saxe High School, was a great standout football player, played varsity for a couple years there, but was also a great track athlete as well for them.
So good speed, obviously, and so able to utilize that last week against Adams State. They have him out there now to see, again, trying to get 1, 2, 3 different running backs, get some punch in there for the Buffs.
5 men up on the line of scrimmage. Okoye tries the right side. Good cut. Is going to spin off of a tackler, and he's about 1 yard short of that first down.
Yeah, and so that time he didn't know which running lane to pick, and so that's where experience will play out later on in his career, because he looked like he could cut it to the inside. Instead, he went to the outside and then cut back at the last second to the inside, and so still had a nice gain, but probably could have picked up the first.
Best drive the Buffs have had. And now Shaquille Brown will go under center on 3rd and short. And Nick Gerber goes in motion out of the backfield. This is a fun formation, and Shaq plunges forward for another first down. You mentioned it last week, 2 touchdowns on the road against Adams State.
Again, utilizing him in a lot of different ways. Like you said, the Jordan Johnson role. Jordan, of course, a great player, played here 63 years. And so
That's right.
We love Jordan Johnson.
That's right.
He was always fun to watch. And it's nice to see Shaq kind of evolving into that type of player.
So 1st and 10 Buffs as the clock runs down to 35 seconds left here in the first quarter. WT trailing by 10. Pass out to Carnbay. And Jeremy Carnbay is going to pick up yardage, get down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
That goes back to the example that Hunter Hughes was using for his tight ends. He really likes all 3 tight ends they want to rotate in. And so in doing so, Max Perez is the 3rd one on that. They're going to utilize him in a lot of different ways. And again, you see Carnbay getting more catches this year.
Buffs see if they get one more play off before the end of the quarter, down to 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Gerber will take the snap. Smallwood, they fake it to him. Gerber keeps it over the right side. Look at Nick Gerber run through a defender and pick up the first down when your quarterback's doing that. Hunter Hughes maybe doesn't like it, but I think the crowd got fired up there, taking us to the second quarter. Did you like that one?
Yeah, Giovanni Williams, the linebacker, came up and took him head on, and he just said, forget that, I'm going to keep going.
The end of the first quarter.
All right, that'll take us to quarter number 2. Javelinas lead 10-0, but the Buffs on a nice drive right now. We'll take the timeout, come back with second quarter action. You're watching Buffalo football on the LSC Digital Network.
Since 1933, the Panhandle Plains Historical Museum has housed the vast history of Panhandle Plains, given back to the community, and provided educational resources to those who live here. Located on the campus of West Texas A&M University, PPHM is free to all students, faculty, and staff at WT. We offer volunteer opportunities, internships, and hands-on research experience. From prehistoric times to pioneer travels, there's something for everyone at the largest history museum in Texas. Stop by and see us sometime. Oh, and don't forget, go Buffs!
Went for a onside kick, landed on my knee pretty hard and ended up fracturing my femur. I ended up having to go back and have surgery. Even the day after I had surgery, I was back in the clinic here. It's nice to have people help me rehab at a caliber of what I'm used to feeling like I can do. One thing that I really liked was having the access to the turf, because that's what I'm used to playing on. Now, I mean, it feels like nothing had ever happened. You have a choice of where you can go. This is one of the best places in Amarillo.
Well, welcome back to a good crowd on hand for this one at Bain Schaefer Stadium.
Some good face paint down there, Bryce.
The student section across the way. If you sit by the student section, I'm just going to warn you, they don't sit down usually. And so if you're thinking to sit.
Yeah, they're not supposed to.
Exactly. So you might want to spread out a little further. But again, good crowd on hand for this one tonight. Educators Night, thanks to Education Credit Union. And so again, still have plenty of time to come on out. We need the Buffaloes, though, to kind of take this drive and capitalize right here.
All right, the Buffs send 3 receivers out to the far side. Watch out for the receiver on the bottom of your screen, Tyshawn Buckner. He's in single coverage. Buffs run it, though, up the middle with Smallwood. And he's bottled up after a short gain. Good push defensively. One of the players in on the stop for Kingsville, number 52. And that is Roy Johnson, a linebacker.
The score's 10-0 in favor of Kingsville, but if you look at total net yards in that first quarter, the Buffs had 80. Kingsville had 18 because they had a couple of sacks, so that caused them to lose some yards.
Well, that tells you, too, they have turned the Buffs over.
The Buffs have turned over twice.
Smallwood over the right side. Again, a good run. The good thing for the Buffs on this drive, Bryce, this will be the 3rd time that WT has had a 3rd and 1 situation, and they've converted those.
And that's the advantage from it as well, is the fact that they are able to get short third down. So third down and distance is short, and so that allows you to do so many things in your playbook.
We've seen WT run it for all the first down conversions, the third down conversions, see if they go play action. It'll be Shaq Brown. He stopped initially.
I think he lunged forward.
Did he get it with
I
that
think
second
he got
surge?
it. Looking at where the side judge is marking it over there. See if they move the.
Well, the line judge came in and was signaling, holding up the fist to say 4th down, I believe.
And the Buffs are going to bring the field goal unit on.
Okay. This season, Gage Urias has been very good. 3 for 3 from on field goals, and he's kicked a long this year of 40 yards. So Hunter Hughes feeling confident in his kicker.
Again, wind at their back after they changed for the quarter, so it's behind him.
This is a 30-yard attempt.
Blocked.
And it's blocked. Kingsville blocked the kick, still loose. Shaq Brown is going to pick it up at the 25-yard line and be taken down. It's Kingsville ball. And the special teams comes up big again for Texas A&M-Kingsville. Remember, they blocked 2 punts last week against Sul Ross State.
Well, and that tells you something that they're doing on special teams that is working really well. 2 special teams conversions or takeaways in this game.
All right, so that WT defense will come back on the field, and the Javelinas will have 1st and 10 from their own 24-yard line.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Let's head down to Kent Johnson on the sideline. I got a report for us.
Well, the Buffs are missing 2 key starters from their defensive unit tonight. Junior nose guard Xavier Rivera from Abernathy and sophomore Midlothian native JT Cavender from the linebacker position, both out tonight. They both have ankle injuries. Xavier's in a walking boot. JT's looking more promising. He's fully suited up, ready to go, but word is the Buffs are going to try and hold him out tonight. But, gentlemen, that's a lot of snaps on the defensive side they're missing experience-wise.
Well, and it really is. Thank you, Kent. Appreciate it. And you can see JT right below us.
Well, that's a huge loss. That's the preseason Lone Star Conference Defensive Player
of the Year. He's standing back away, talking to one of the coaches and just saying, I'm ready to go.
Wow. Ashton Reynolds was ready to go on that play. We've seen Christian Anderson and his speed. Ashton Reynolds tracked him down from the back side.
So Hunter Hughes was thrilled. Unfortunately, got a player
Injury
down.
timeout.
But they were thrilled with Ashton Reynolds in the way that he is kind of flying to the football this year.
And that's Ashton who's down, Bryce.
Yeah, I think he kind of rolled up on the guy and may have got a shoe or
Immediate
something.
timeout.
Got the wind knocked out of him.
We'll step aside for this timeout. 12:23 to play in the second quarter, and Kingsville with the lead 10-0 here from Bain Schaefer, Buffalo Stadium.
Welcome to MetaDrive Pharmacy, Canyon's hometown pharmacy for over 32 years. We greet you by name, and our pharmacists take the time to counsel you and answer all your questions. Our Health Mart Pharmacy specializes in serving our community with fast, friendly, professional service and the highest quality medicines and health products. We accept most insurance plans, including Medicaid and Medicare, and we offer free in-town delivery to your home or business. Come visit us for all your healthcare needs.
Suddenlink is now Optimum, with award-winning internet, TV, and mobile, giving you the power to get closer and go farther with speed and reliability. With our new 100% fiber internet we're building, together with Optimum Mobile, voted #1 in customer satisfaction, you'll get the complete connectivity you deserve. And when you combine Optimum's award-winning connectivity with our 24/7 customer service, your future is only a connection away.
Welcome back to Bain Schaefer. As good news on that particular play, the heading out on his own power that time. That was good to see for the Buffaloes. And so again,
hopefully we get Reynolds back in, Bryce. We don't need any more defensive players out.
Too big of a deal.
Cavazos dumps it off to Christian Anderson. And Anderson, wow.
So Anderson did a nice job. Bubs come up. They bring 6 that time, so the 2 middle linebackers come up. And so that leaves a big open gaping hole in the middle. You watch on the replay here.
And watch the defenders at the end of the run go falling backwards after Anderson.
So there's you see the big gaping hole. Anderson just circles out of the backfield and then goes up. And so, again, just kind of gave him that one. That was a nice read by the quarterback, Cavazos.
We'll have a substitution at the running back spot. First opportunity tonight for Roger Hagan. They fake it to him, throw it to the near side. The screen set up. Ty Dillon's going to come up and make a pretty good tackle against number 5, Jackson Allen, who's a 6'2", 165-pound junior from Sinton, Texas. but still a good pickup. And it seems like right now they're trying to get the quarterback comfortable with some short throws.
Yeah, they really are. They're going into the wind. And again, it was around 18, 20 mile an hour coming into their face right now. And so kind of swirling down there. So you do want those short dump off passes. I don't know that they have the speed to get up the field as quick as they would like to in this one. We'll see. But again, I think that's why those short passes do justice for them.
2nd down and 5. They fake it to the running back Hagan. Sling this one out to the tight end, who slips and falls down maybe half a yard short of the first down. It's a good pickup to Walker Ring, 6'4", 225-pounder from Lavernia, Texas. They like those big tight ends.
Got to get to midfield on this 3rd down, so they're about a half a yard. This is going to be a pretty easy call. This is going to be a handoff run right up the middle.
Well, Roger Hagan is 5'10", 220 pounds. He's running back's pretty big for Kingsville. So you expect him to get the ball here. Buffs walk the linebackers up on the line. Hagan does get the carry. Michael Smith initially came up and stopped that play in its tracks. Chris Thomas holds on, no gain. Great job by the defense.
Perfect job that time. Again, you win that battle in the trenches, and that time the Buffs got a good push backward on the offensive line, and so they lose maybe even a half a yard.
If you're Mike Salinas, do you go for it, Bryce?
I think he will.
At midfield, 4th and short?
I think he will. You're ahead 10-0. You're 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Why not? Your offense has been playing well. I'd go for it.
Well, he knows a thing or two about WT. Mike was the assistant coach, defensive coordinator in 2005 for the Buffaloes. Fans on their feet, out of the gun. Cavazos stops. They turn to the sideline, and Coach Salinas will call for a timeout. See if he'll change things up and punt the football. He feels pretty good about his defense right now. Let's keep it here.
Yeah, no, and that's a good reason to do so, too, as well, because they have been playing well. Again, they've forced his team overall here in the first half. They've forced 2 miscues. They've taken advantage of that. And so that's the thing. They haven't allowed WT to settle down in this one.
I'm going to sound more conservative, but if I'm Salinas, you're on the road, you're already up 10-0. I would punt it here.
Well, that's probably why he called the timeout. He looked to see what the defense was going to do. Then he made a decision. Okay, let's go ahead and put this one away.
Of course, I say that if you convert it, then it's a blow to the defense. You get your side fired up, which they already are, leading 10-0. So, Lucas Kinsey, Bryce Sheets, glad to have you with us here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. It's been a fun weekend already for West Texas A&M. Hall of Champions last night.
Right.
Lady Buffs volleyball 2-0 this weekend. They defeated Dallas Baptist last night in 4 sets, and then they went to a 5th set. Today was an incredible match with UT Tyler.
Yeah, I'm glad you still have a voice after calling that one today. So.
Our Thunder Vision production team doing a fabulous job.
Flying all over the place themselves.
Well, Mike Salinas heard me, Bryce, and he's going to play it conservative. They'll punt it back to WT as Tyler Sweet drops back to the 10-yard line. It was a high snap. Cavazos off the side of the foot, a good punt that Tyler Sweet will field and will make a return across the 20-yard line.
So the nice thing about that one, Tyler learned from the last time. You saw him cover up the football with both hands as he felt contact coming. And so, again, he was carrying it like a loaf of bread last time. This time he carried it like a good sack of potatoes that was heavy. Keep it close to your chest.
Offensively, so far, Bryce, the Buffaloes, 88 total yards, 66 on the ground. Not much through the air, though.
No, and that's the thing. They're trying to establish the run even more than I thought they would tonight. And so, again, they're trying to draw this Kingsville team up, this Javelinas secondary up. Right now, they're playing back pretty deep.
Keep an eye on those matchups in the secondary with the Javelinas defensive backs. Told you that was going to be key tonight with these West Texas A&M receivers. Kenneth Red Jr.'s in. He's at the bottom of your screen along with number 25, Chris Sims. This is a handoff over the left side, though. Running hard is Okoye as he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Good job by that Kingsville defensive front.
Amos Coleman the third and Kenneth Red Jr. kind of having their own little battle out there, the 2 number 2s. And so they were kind of ganged up on each other as he was trying to throw a block downfield.
2nd down and long for the Buffs in the second quarter, trailing 10-0. Gerber back to pass. Good protection across the middle, picked off, intercepted. And then stepping out of bounds after a good interception, Isaiah Jacobs, and the safety Bryce, he read it the whole way, stepped right in front. That looked like it was intended for Jacobs.
Well, it was into too deep coverage, too. I mean, there was two guys there defensively. Watch the replay here as he steps back and surveys. And, again, there's two defenders right there.
He's reading eyes the whole time.
He threw it behind his intended target on that one. And then that was just an easy pick. And so that's...
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, Kingsville, number 11. The 15-yard penalty being forced. First down, Kingsville.
Oh, wow. Didn't see that one. That one's going to drive Coach Salinas crazy because the interception, you had the ball inside the 30-yard line. Now you got to go back 15 yards. Great play for Isaiah Jacobs, but get over on your sideline before you celebrate.
And I think that's all he did. When you hear the unsportsmanlike, it wasn't like he was doing anything. He ran out of bounds, then ran behind everybody and was kind of being extra exuberant.
Maybe a questionable personal foul then?
Maybe, I don't know. But nevertheless, that's good for the Buffaloes because that moves them back.
To me, Bryce, going back to, I think you play with emotion. And as long as it's not taunting, as long as it doesn't happen to show up the opponent, I'm okay with you getting off on the sideline and showing some celebration.
And I agree with you on that one, too. And, again, this is one where the defense has played well early, and obviously the offense has not.
Kingsville still has the ball, but they back it up near midfield. Anderson back in at running back. Hit hard right at the line of scrimmage and manages to just pick up a yard. Did not get that push they wanted up front.
They didn't, and actually the Buffs missed 2 tackles on that one. They could have threw him for a yard loss. And so, again, that goes back to wrapping up. Make sure you get big running backs have big legs. You got to try to wrap up those legs.
Terrence Clark from the linebacker spot, and also number 90 in at defensive line, Jaden Jackson. We're going to see a lot of different players tonight with some of those injuries. Another one is the nose guard in the middle, A.J. Magruder, who started out his career here at WT as an offensive lineman.
And I'll tell you a story about A.J. in just a moment.
All right, out of the shotgun here for Kingsville on second down and long. They fake it to the running back. Fastball completed on the outside to the receiver, number 85. That's Jalen Smith.
Got a nice pickup on that, moved it up. A.J. Magruder this week was a referee for my grandson's flag football team, and I talked to him and I said, "Do you like offense, or you like defense better than offense?" He goes, "I love hitting people." And so he loves the change because he was.
Well, I said, now I can use my hands and wrap people up.
Exactly. I was on the offensive line. He moved to the defensive line, and he loves it.
All right, 3rd and short here for the Javelinas. 3rd and 4 from the Buffs' 43-yard line. Kingsville up by 10 points. Anderson out of the flat. Man, he had a lot of running room, and he just took his eyes off that football. He would have picked up that first down, but
he would have
forgot the ball.
He saw Terrence Clark coming at him. He was right in his line of vision, so he took his eyes off the football, looked to see where he was going to get hit, and luckily for the Buffaloes, he dropped it.
So this will force a punt situation here for the Javelinas.
Buffs defense come up big after another offensive takeaway.
You're exactly right, Bryce, and you can't. That's not an understatement because Kingsville has had so many opportunities. They could be up 28-0.
Well, you talked about, and we talked about too, the Buffs having 6 takeaways in the first 2 games. Now they've given it away 3 times today.
This punt out of bounds, looks like inside the 15-yard line. Official comes up and spots it at the 16 for Cavazos, and got to watch out for that. That could be a weapon for Kingsville, having your quarterback as your main punter.
Media timeout.
We'll have a media timeout here from Bain Schaefer Buffalo Stadium. This WT offense hopefully gets things going when we come back after these messages on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
Since 1933, the Panhandle Plains Historical Museum has housed the vast history of Panhandle Plains, given back to the community, and provided educational resources to those who live here. Located on the campus of West Texas A&M University, PPHM is free to all students, faculty, and staff at WT. We offer volunteer opportunities, internships, and hands-on research experience. From prehistoric times to pioneer travels, there's something for everyone at the largest history museum in Texas. Stop by and see us sometime. Oh, and don't forget, go Buffs!
Well, welcome back to Bain Schaefer Stadium. The Buffs trailing 10-0, and it's been miscues by West Texas tonight that has allowed the Javelinas to jump out to this 10-0 lead. They've had short fields. When you look again, still, we've got about 7:34 left to play here in the first half. The Buffs total yards 88 compared to Javelinas 49. So they haven't gobbled us up offensively. They've just had some takeaways and had some good key offensive plays at the right time.
2 interceptions. Fumble on the special teams return and a blocked field goal.
Yeah.
And so all of that has a recipe that adds up to no points on the board.
You know, and Hunter talked about last week against Adams State on the road, he wasn't happy with the way the team came out. He wasn't happy with how they weren't excited to play. And I think they were excited today, but right now they just look discombobulated. I know that's a scientific word, but nevertheless, they just
Well, that was your favorite subject in school, Bryce.
Absolutely.
Science, right?
They just they cannot get kind of the rhythm they need, especially on the offensive side.
Some vocabulary for you kids as you watch the broadcast tonight. This is a handoff.
And it goes nowhere, straight up the middle. Again, that was to Jared Compton, and Jared just had nowhere to run with the football.
Give credit to this Kingsville defense. They have really put the clamps on WT. 3 receivers out on the far side. They roll Gerber out, looking for someone. Nobody's open. Good pursuit by the Javelinas, but great coverage.
It really was, and he was trying to get Hunter Kaufman to turn and go upfield. Hunter just kept running perpendicular with the quarterback, basically. He stayed on the line with him. He wanted him to turn. He was trying to signal him to turn and go upfield, and he didn't.
This is a big third down here.
Huge.
WT needs a first down, and again, it's been vertical plays down the field that they have not been able to connect on.
Correct. And the Kingsville Javelinas were like a nickel package out there right now.
Gerber in trouble. Gerber taken down for a big sack. It was close to being up by the helmet, but give credit to the defender that time, Bryce.
Isaiah Bean comes in from the right side that time, and Bean just wraps him up. You watch right here. He's the right side defensive
end. Just a bull rush.
And he just ran over the lineman there for the Buffaloes. And again, not a good position that time for Samuel Treadways. He just got bull rushed.
Well, Bean is a 6'4", 215-pound senior, a transfer from Kansas, the Jayhawks.
Yeah, who are pretty good this year.
They actually are. The punt, a really good one from Ollie Yart. Look at this, goes over the return man and is going to go all the way down to the Javelinas' 30-yard line. Ollie Yart, the redshirt freshman, local product out of Dumas High School. He was a 2-time All-State player for the Demons.
So I got the wind behind him on this one. The last time he punted was into the wind, got a really high punt, but the wind caught it and just didn't allow it to move. It just kind of dropped straight down. That time he has the wind at his back. It helps him. It carries it out of the end zone.
66-yarder.
Yeah, really. I mean, it really was. And technically he was in the back of the end zone, so over 70 yards on the kick itself.
So here's the Javelinas offense again. Jacob Cavazos. A little misdirection play, and he had a tight end open and just threw it too tall, too high for his 6'4" target.
Yeah, Ty Dillon too that time. Ty Dillon was back and he kind of read it, and so but he was playing against another defender. It's Ty right there on the screen, and so he tried to go up and try to grab that one. It was just kind of in that no man's area.
Jason Gaines, split receiver to the near side. They're going to stay on the ground with Anderson. Great cut by Anderson. He's got the sideline. He's got the speed. Is pushed out of bounds after a big run into Buffalo territory. And they did a great job sealing the edge that time.
Well, and you had a defender take a wrong lane that time. Watch on the replay right here. Here's a defender that comes up instead of going to the outside. And so that's how he was able to cut it to the outside and really have a huge run for a 1st and 10 for the Javelinas.
Good hustle by Sign Shuva to shove the running back out of bounds, or Anderson is probably dancing in the end zone there. 1st down and 10, Texas A&M-Kingsville. And now, time of possession also starting to be a problem.
Yes, absolutely.
As we've only got 5.5 minutes before halftime. Anderson.
Again, missed tackle. Coming up was Chris Thomas that time, and Chris usually doesn't miss tackles, but that time he just fully missed, trying to swipe at the legs, and the running back sidesteps him and then comes out. It should have been a 2-yard loss. Instead, it's a 4-yard gain.
The other thing that happened was on the left side of the line, the left tackle, big Rafael Rico. There's pancake blocks, and then there's like the triple-decker pancake. That's what happened over there with Rico. He just flattened his man and helped out on that run. They fake it to Anderson. Pass thrown high. That's the one thing you look at Cavazos. He's doing a pretty good job of managing the offense right now. But, Bryce, he's got to bring that ball down just a little bit.
Inconsistent. Like you get a little bit too much energy when you're, maybe too many power drinks before he came out here. Again, he's just a little jittery and throwing the passes are a little high. And so if he gets that to where it's under control, then that's going to get scary.
Well, because they've got open receivers.
Yeah, they do.
3rd down and 7 for Texas A&M-Kingsville. Already leading 10-0, but they've really been stuck at this score for quite a while. Screen pass. They get it set up. Good job by the Buffaloes. They cut down the receiver after a very short gain.
Carson Otworth came up and made a nice stop that time as he just kind of read the lane and came flying up to the ball.
Jason Gaines, the receiver, making the catch for Texas A&M-Kingsville. Do they bring, I don't think they're going to try the field goal like they did in the first half because now the wind's coming back into your
they're
face.
Going into the wind, and so this would even be a longer attempt. And so that one that they got from 52 with the wind barely cleared the crossbar. So they'll keep the offense out there.
See if Coach Salinas works this play clock all the way down and then takes a timeout, or if he's already got a play called. The Javelinas have 2 timeouts remaining. Play clock's at 2 seconds. They get the snap off. Throw down the field. The receiver's there. The catch is made. And that was the best throw we've seen from Cavazos all night. He connects with Jason Gaines for a big first down. Here's the replay.
Yeah, and again, Jason was just in between 2 defenders. You see him, he's not sandwiched there. He just found an open
slot. It's a great
slot.
throw.
And it was a beautiful throw, and that gives them a big first down. Defense kind of got missed up on that one.
Now Javelinas in the red zone with 3:30 to play. Handoff to Hagan, trying to bounce it outside. Great job by Chris Thomas. Cuts the runner down in his tracks right there. And Buffalo's really got to have Thomas step up tonight with his buddy J.T. Cavender unable to play. That's a loss of 1 on the run for Hagan.
And again, when you lose JT, you've got that emotional engine that's out there too. And he's kind of he is the rah-rah guy that kind of gets these guys going.
And coming into tonight, this Buff offense averaging close to 40 points a game, 461 total yards. They have been stifled in the first half. Cavazos, play action. Going for a home run ball. It's picked off. Interception by the Buffaloes. And that was number 46 for West Texas A&M. Give credit to Preston Staszewski.
So Staszewski read that perfectly that time as he was set for step with the wide receiver. Pressure on the quarterback as he got hit as he released it. Staszewski just looks up, sees the football, reaches up.
Great play.
And pulls it in. That was what we needed. We needed to take away there.
Big turnover for West Texas A&M and a smart play to stay in the end zone there. They'll bring the football out to the 20-yard line for the Buffaloes. As WT fans saying, we've seen enough of those on our end.
Yeah, it's time to now let's get the offense in sync a little bit. That's the thing. Credit Kingsville's defense. They have got this offensive unit rattled.
So on first down, Gerber fakes it to the running back. Scrambles outside, throw down the field, and
I think he was out of bounds.
Yeah, out of bounds. The Kingsville coaches are really upset. They felt like there was a hold.
And there was. There on the right side that time as Gerber rolled out, had a defensive lineman cutting at him, and you could see him get his shoulders turned, and that's why they wanted the holding penalty. And so that time WT got away with it.
Isaiah Smallwood, the running back, on the field right now. He's the leading ball carrier, rusher with 6 carries for 28 yards. He'll take this one over the right side, take a few Javelina defenders for a short gain. It's going to set up 3rd and about 7 here for the Buffs.
2:30 left to play here in the first half. Buffs trail 10-0 to the Javelinas. Has been really all the Javelinas here in the first half. Not offensively, not statistically, but they have just done what they've needed to do. And again, have caused 4 problems for the Buffaloes tonight, and they've been able to capitalize on 2 of those.
All right, 3rd down and a long 6 for Gerber in the offense. Stepping up, throw on the run. Great catch. And staying inbound, Shaq Brown How about the versatility? He can get under center and pick up short yardage, or he can do this.
You like the way he rolls. He's out as a split end, and so he's out on the right side, and then he makes a nice move to the sideline, pulls that one in, gets the foot down, and that's a good catch, keeps the drive alive.
Big pickup there for the Buffs. Under 2 minutes left before halftime. Big hole opens up over the middle for Isaiah Smallwood. He's got a nice gain of close to 8 yards there. Good blocking up front by the Buffaloes offensive line. Tackle made that time by number 4, James Bell.
Again, they split Shaq Brown out to the left.
Clock runs at 1.5 minutes to play. Good protection. Gerber throw wide open. Shaq Brown. Look at Shaq Brown go. They can't bring him down at the 10-yard line. Shaq Brown. Touchdown, Buffaloes.
Wow. It looked like he went down. It looked like his knee may have went down. The official didn't blow a whistle. And so Shaq Brown does a nice job hurdling one defender, got pushed around a little bit, and then was able, and there's his teammate. Watch this on the replay. Again,
the individual effort.
Shaq Brown right here hurdles one. Nope. And he kept the knee up. It looked like it went down there, but he kept the knee up, and then do what you're told. You don't hear the whistle, keep going.
A huge play there for the Buffs. 53-yard pass completion for the touchdown from Nick Gerber to Shaquille Brown. An extra point. We got flags flying all over the place here before that one was snapped. So we'll see if this was movement on the Buffs or if it was against Kingsville. It appears like it's going to be against the Javelinas.
The result of the play, successful field goal. Illegal substitution defense, that penalty is declined. Try is good.
We'll take a quick timeout, come back with the kickoff. Buffs big score, cut the lead to just 3 with 1:18 to play before halftime.
For a onside kick. Landed on my knee pretty hard and ended up fracturing my femur. I ended up having to go back and have surgery. Even the day after I had surgery, I was back in the clinic here. It's nice to have people help me rehab at a caliber of what I'm used to feeling like I can do. One thing that I really liked was having the access to the turf, because that's what I'm used to playing on. Now, I mean, it feels like nothing had ever happened. You have a choice of where you can go. This is one of the best places in Amarillo.
Well, welcome back to Shane.
There's some points on the board, Bryce.
Schaefer Stadium. We got some points on the board. Buffs on a 5-play, 80-yard drive. Nick Gerber finds a crossing tight end in Shaq Brown, who was playing like a wide receiver, go across the middle, got him, and then he does everything he needs to on a 53-yard scamper to get in the end zone and put the Buffs on the scoreboard.
An incredible individual effort there.
And that got the crowd back in this one.
Yes, it did. No chance on the return here. Deep in the end zone. Javelinas will have just 1:18 before halftime. Still 2 timeouts remaining.
And that's the thing. I think it just didn't feel, the offense just was not in sync. And on that drive, it looked like it had finally started to click a little bit. We hope they'll be able to build on that in the second half.
It's like when you fall asleep, right?
Yeah.
Maybe afternoon, a little late afternoon, and then you wake up and you're like
kind of groggy. Yeah, exactly. And so good. That's some positivity we can take into the locker room at the half.
Javelinas, remember, get the football to start the second half. We'll see if they're going to try to take some shots down the field. Starting from their own 25-yard line. They'll start on the ground. Christian Anderson is going to weave over the left side for about 3-4 yards.
The one guy we have not seen tonight is Tennille Carter.
Yeah.
He was projected to be
first time out of the half, West Texas.
So WT takes the timeout as they want to stop the clock.
We'll keep it here.
Please reset the game clock to 1:09. 1:09. Thank you.
We look at the stats right now, Bryce. 156 yards of offense for the Buffs. Now up to 103 for Texas A&M-Kingsville. Both teams pretty even on the ground. The Buffs big advantage in the air with 91 passing yards. But a tight game and one that Kingsville has looked pretty good at times, but that last drive, the interception from Preston Staszewski, that was a big game changer.
Absolutely super. And again, when you look at the average per completion on passes tonight, for Kingsville, 6.3 yards. The Buffs, because of that play just then, brought their average up to 22.8 per completion.
Educators Night here at Bain Schaefer Buffalo Stadium is Education Credit Union sponsoring that. Tight end goes in motion. They hand it to Anderson. Patient running, turns it up, picks up good yardage.
And that's a nice run from the standpoint you described how patient he was.
Second timeout of the half, West Texas. It's a 30-second timeout.
He went to the left side that time and then saw the breakdown, so he was able to come back to the right. And so able to pick up a nice gain to give them short third and about 2 for the first down.
West Texas A&M next week, they go on the road to number 5 Angelo State. The Javelinas, they're back at home next week. It's a home game against Eastern New Mexico. Give me a chance to look at some of the other scores from around the Lone Star Conference. Central, 2 of the new members in the Lone Star Conference, Central Washington. We've seen them before, obviously.
Right. Got a chance to make a trip out there several years ago.
Very good team out of the state of Washington. 40-7 win over Simon Fraser today. Other action right now, Angelo State leads at Ratliff Stadium in Odessa. Third quarter, 24-7 over UT Permian Basin. Western Oregon and Western New Mexico, the Battle of the Westerns, 14-14 score there.
Nice.
Eastern New Mexico on the road facing Division I opponent tonight, Tarleton Texans. And it's 24-3, Tarleton leads over the Greyhounds. All right, Cavazos throws this one, completes it to Stinton, but he's immediately taken down. Sign Shuva read that play. It's like he had the playbook.
The third and final time out of the half, West Texas A&M.
You think Hunter Hughes wants the football back here?
I think he does, because he obviously knows Kingsville gets to watch the convergence right there. Nice
That's
stop.
our X factor of the game, Bryce.
Jackson Allen pulls that one in, but you're right. Sign Shuva has been able to make the stop. And so a lot of accolades for the Buffs as the defense makes their way out, and for good reason.
You know, as a smaller defensive back, you got to be hard to block. I mean, you got to be slippery. You can't let those bigger wide receivers get their hands on you. You got to do what you can to avoid those blockers so you can get to the ball carrier and make the tackle.
You know, so far in this game, too, really the defense hasn't been too bad tonight, to be honest. They've played fairly well.
You're exactly right.
And so it's just the offense has sputtered so much until that last drive. And so, again, if we can kind of get that lined up here as we get ready to go finish out this drive and then go to the second half, that will be a big thing for the Buffaloes.
Back to receive the punt, standing on his own 30-yard line, will be Tyler Sweet. Cavazos trying to get a bounce off of this punt. He'll get a decent one. It'll go out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. Buffs will have 51 seconds left before halftime. And if you're Nick Gerber, you want to get back out there and try to take some shots?
And again, what was different about that last offensive set? They kind of geared on the tight end, Shaq Brown and Carmbe both. They kind of were looking at them, looking at the bigger receivers more than they were trying to get it downfield. So they were able to take advantage of some matchups. And so I'm sure Kingsville will make some adjustments as well. But it's nice to see Shaq out of there kind of making some things happen.
Look for Noah Bogardus as well. He's been quiet tonight.
Right. This would be a good time for his speed to come through.
Leading receiver for the Buffs. Gerber looks left, now comes back right. Directing traffic. Throw on the run. On the money. Caught at the 40-yard line. Making a man miss. That's Tyshawn Buckner. He's got a big first down pickup. Stopped well in the secondary. Got some help from number 4, James Bell, to make the tackle. That's his first catch as a Buffalo.
And watch it right here. Tyshawn does a nice job, because this time he does come back to his quarterback. Sees he's in trouble, turns around, comes back to him, gave him a big target. He saw his numbers and then makes a nice move to pick up that first down.
Buffs moving quickly here at the end of the half. No timeout. Snap back to Gerber. Looking left. Going to throw this one and off the mark there. Good effort by Kenneth Red Jr. to try to haul that in.
And he did a nice job, because really, again, his quarterback and he are communicating. He says, come back, come to the edge. He does, and he just tried to feed it where only he's going to catch it, and just a little too wide for him to pull that one in.
Clock shows 20 seconds left.
One of the things they're doing with Nick, too, is they're moving him out of the pocket. They're getting him some movement so he can kind of survey the field.
Good protection by the offensive line. Nobody's open, though. Gerber all day to throw, and then the ball comes loose. He's able to recover it. Great play. The Buffs have got to hurry, though. The clock is running. There's 8 seconds left, 7 seconds left. Are they going to spike it? 5 seconds. 4. Gerber does just that with 1 second. Well, they need to put some time back on the clock. And the field goal unit will come on the field, as it was a great job for Kingsville.
Put 3 seconds on the game clock.
Number 93,
seconds.
Xavier Henderson, came from behind.
On the snap.
Stripped the ball loose.
But Nick had a long time to look, and so you can't really put that on the offensive line.
Receivers needed to get open.
The receivers just were bundled up, and so again, turn around, come back to your quarterback, and present a big target for him.
This will be a 46-yard try for Gage Urias. Earlier in the half, had a field goal blocked. Did Texas A&M-Kingsville take a timeout?
Second timeout of the half, Kingsville.
Okay.
It's a 30-second timeout.
So this gives Hunter Hughes a chance as well, Bryce, to talk to his guys about your blocking, make sure you get your assignments right. You want to give it Gage Urias a good chance on this field goal try.
And they had a lot of guys, they were bunched is what they did that time. And so again, you're not spread out all along the line. You've got guys that lined up normally like they do, but then you have some other guys bunched behind them. That's who got a good push the last time when he got his attempt blocked. They were able to get in above the linemen that are blocking there, and that's how they ever get a hand on the football.
Gage Urias, again in his career, 9 for 11 field goals, a long of 40 yards. This would be his longest if he can connect here, and if he can, we're going to go to the locker room tied.
Kyle Brown's the holder, and so one of the backup quarterbacks.
Javelinas coming for this block here. This is like at the end of an NBA game.
That is the third and final timeout by
Another
Kingsville.
timeout taken.
It's a 30-second timeout.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised, though. I mean, I see them taking the timeouts. They're looking at their lineups. Where do they want to stack on the line to get a push and try to cause some problems? Obviously, you're freezing the kicker. That's the other thing you're doing. But the thing about it is you're not really kind of taking the kicks the way that you kind of anticipate they would.
All right, the Buffaloes with the lead. Javelinas with the lead, 10-7. This will be the last play of the half. Buff's going to try a long field goal here. Gage Urias has the leg, and again, remember, right now has that wind behind him.
So no timeouts left. You know this is going to be live.
High snap. Holder gets it down. Urias's field goal is up, and he got it. 46 yards out. Field goal is good. 10-10 tie going into the locker room at halftime.
Well, that's perfect. I mean, ideal. You watch the replay here. Again, the snap was high. Kenny did a nice job to grab it and bring it down. And then Gage, just great follow through all the way as he is able to get that one up and in to tie this one up. And so the first, 27 minutes, 26 minutes of the first half weren't that great, but the last 3 were good. We're going to head down to the field. Here's Kent Johnson's got Hunter Hughes. Let's head down to the field with Kent Johnson. Kent?
Well, the first part of the first half, the miscues seemed to stumble us up, but man, your team recovered and made a great run at the end of the half.
We couldn't play any worse than we did in the first half. We're lucky to be tied at 10. Told them adversity is going to strike, and we got struck with some adversity and we responded, and there's second half. It's a good football team over there, and they got a lot of confidence, and we didn't play very well, and if we don't come out and play better, it's going to be a long night for us.
I know you like team play over individual effort, but the play by Shaquille Brown energized things.
Yeah, it did. I think we got a little lucky on that, but we'll take it. And they're going to miss some calls. I thought the call on Mike Smith for the shot to the head was a BS call, and we just got to keep playing. We got to overcome that. I'm happy with the way the half ended. We had used the 3 timeouts wisely and got the ball down there, and we were able to get the field goal. So we have 30 minutes. They get the ball first. We'll see what happens.
We'll let you get back with them. The Buffs show excellent clock management and team play in the last 2.5 minutes to tie it up at the half. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have our halftime activities. You're watching Buffalo football on the LSC Digital Network.
We are Carpet Tech, and we are family. More than carpet cleaners, we're a team. Diving right in, not afraid to invest in our work and each other. We're killing it day in and day out, never shrinking from a challenge. Our people are 1 part passion, 1 part grit, and about a zillion parts awesome. And we are always looking to add to our family. So what are you waiting for?
Rita Hokianga. Rita made 71 appearances in the circle and led the Lady Buffs to the 2014 NCAA national title to earn MVP honors. After her collegiate career, she represented her home country of New Zealand as a member of the national team. Ladies and gentlemen, Rita Hokianga. Glory Jangdongzari. Glory finished her career in maroon and white as one of the top women golfers in program history, setting a program record with 7 career victories, including the 2014 Lone Star Conference Championship. Welcome, please, into the Hall of Champions, Glory Jangdongzari. Marshall Kozowski. Marshall proved to be one of the top pitchers in Division II baseball history as he set the Lone Star Conference season record with 165 strikeouts, which still stands today. In 2017, he was drafted by the Los Angeles Dodgers, who he remains with to this day. Let's welcome Marshall Kozowski. And our next inductee, Dr. J. Patrick O'Brien. Dr. O'Brien spent a decade as the university president at WT from 2006 to 2016, helping WT to become the first LSC institution with full scholarship funding for all sports. In that time, he reinstated the track and field programs, which have claimed 3 national titles in the last 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. J. Patrick O'Brien. Welcome our next Hall of Champions inductee, Laura Princeton. Laura dominated the net during her time at WT as the 2-time AVCA All-American, was a member of the 2009 National Runner-Up Team. She is just one of 7 players in school history with 1,000 kills and 1,000 digs. Ladies and gentlemen, Laura Princeton. Eugene Sims. Eugene dominated the defensive line for the Buffs during his time at WT. He was a 2-time defenseman, lineman of the year, and played 7 seasons with the St. Louis Rams. Give it up for this Hall of Champions inductee, Eugene Sims. Libby Strickland. Libby is one of the most storied and decorated track and field athletes in WT history. This Amarillo native was an 11-time first-team All-American while claiming 9 different LSC individual championships, along with the 2014 LSC Outdoor Field Athlete of the Year accolade. Ladies and gentlemen, Libby Strickland. Now, Buff Nation, we would also like to acknowledge this year's recipients of the Legacy Award. The Legacy Award recognizes individuals and organizations who have made significant lifetime contributions to the success and legacy of West Texas A&M athletics. Our first Legacy Award recipient, Danny and Rachel Bird. Let's welcome, please, this amazing lady as our next Legacy Award recipient, Judy Fugate. Well done, Judy. Thank you for all of your contributions. And now, try to contain yourself, fans. Our next Legacy Award recipient, Dr. H, Dr. Harry, and Marianne Houston. And a great sponsor of WT Athletics, we are so thankful for his support. The next Legacy Award recipients, Dan and Lois Schumann. Fans, let's have another nice hand for all of these Legacy Award winners, and let's hear it for this year's Hall of Champions inductees.
The Sound of West Texas is proud to present to you classic themes from Beethoven, Verdi, Saint-Saëns, Vivaldi, Grieg, Schubert, Rimsky-Korsakov, Mozart, Wagner, Pachelbel, and Stravinsky. Led on the field by drum majors Megan Brooks, Aaron Erickson, Aaron Hines, and Tobin Brooks, the Sound of West Texas invites you to sit back and relax as you enjoy some of the greatest music ever written as performed by the WTAMU Buffalo Marching Band.
got the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of, and now it's here. First Financial Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly, local approval. It's service that just comes naturally to us, much like a love of tradition comes naturally to you. First Financial Bank, you first. Member FDIC.
Yeah, he's nearby. I can do it whenever. And we're probably going to hold the clock at 4 minutes here.
Come to golf headquarters and get helped, get fitted, and get your questions answered, and find out about our price matching online today.
Let's do it coming out of the commercial. Yeah, we're good.
And welcome back to Bain Schaefer Stadium. The Buffs tied with Kingsville. Great last 118 of that first half. Let's head down to the sideline. Kent Johnson with a special guest. Kent?
Well, it's always fun to visit with former Buff letter winners, but this is one of my all-time favorites, as well as from the recognition he got earlier today. Buff Nation's all-time favorites, Eugene Sims, native of Mount Olive, Mississippi, wore number 97 for the Buffs, and then played 7 solid years in the NFL with the St. Louis and Los Angeles Rams. He's back on campus for the first time in 7 years as he was inducted into the WT Athletics Hall of Champions last night. First, Eugene, you haven't been to a game at Buffalo Stadium. What do you think of this place?
Man, it's beautiful, man. The change is good. From 2007 to now, it's a big change, and I think it's for the best of the university. I'm excited about it. I think the organization and the university is doing well.
Now, last night, the Hall of Champions, you were inducted 35th class. Your thoughts and feelings on that? It was quite a surprise when Mr. McBroom notified you of that.
Yeah, it was so real humble, man. I'm humble. Blessed, good Lord, blessed me for this opportunity, and to come back to a beautiful place like this gave me a lot of life, and I feel like I did something right when I came here. You know, it was beautiful, and I came back with my family. They enjoyed it. They're enjoying it now. My daughter's just getting a kick out of it, so it's good for me.
Now, you mentioned your family. Tell us what life after football is like for Eugene Sims.
It's being a father. I have 4 daughters, a 14-year-old, a 7-year-old. Now's the time to open up your Go Buffs Go app. Select the answers correctly. Today for a discount to your destination. They got the win.
Now, as a former player and a current coach, how would you break down this first half we saw?
Man, I would break it down. If I would break it down, it would be like something similar. You know, we had a bad couple of hiccups on offense in the first quarter, came back at the end of the second half, and quarterback and receivers made good exchanges.
From Mount Olive, Mississippi to Canyon, Texas, St. Louis, Missouri, Los Angeles, California, and tonight back to Canyon, Texas. He's a winner all the way, Eugene Sims. Lucas, Bryce, we could sure use him on the field. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, thanks very much, Kent. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, defensive end, could you sneak him in just for tonight, Bryce?
He was
that may be against the rules.
That could be. He was a fun guy to watch play, and so appreciate, obviously, him being here for the induction, but more importantly, just to see how his life has really been affected by being here on campus, getting into the NFL, a long storied career in the NFL. And so great to see him back here.
It was really nice to the Hall of Champions inductees, you know, looking at all of those athletes and coaches. I mean, every year it seems like it just gets better and better. I talked about this in the volleyball broadcast, Tony Greystone.
Yeah.
So many wins over at the box, and now he's a head coach, obviously, at Texas Tech. And some great athletes, Laura Princeton, who played volleyball as well. Libby Strickland, she may be one of the best athletes to ever come on campus, Bryce. She was a great track and field athlete, and then her senior year decides, I'll go play volleyball.
Yeah, so that's one of those players just for well-rounded, and obviously had so much fun being part of campus life, and so that's really obviously affected her, and that's very deserving of being in the Hall.
On the baseball and softball side of things, Marshall Kozowski pitching in the AAA affiliate right now for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And Rita Hokianga was an outstanding pitcher on the 2014 Lady Buff National Championship softball team. She was dominant when she was here for a couple of years. It is just incredible when you look at what these athletes have done.
We take for granted a lot about the quality of athletes that we have that come on campus here, because not only are they doing things locally, so to speak, they do stuff on the national level that they get accolades for, and so that's why this program is so successful with all sports, and really the quality, like you just said, that are being inducted. Just the cream of the crop.
We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back, have some stats for you, and get you ready for the second half here from Bain Schaefer Buffalo Stadium. 10-10 score between Texas A&M-Kingsville and West Texas A&M.
headquarters and get helped, get fitted, and get your questions answered, and find out about our price matching online today.
Jenkins Doors and Windows began serving the Texas Panhandle in 1927, and we take pride in being a part of your neighborhood. We don't use false promises or gimmicks. We simply offer quality doors and windows at a fair price, and we stand behind every sale. Jenkins is family owned and operated, and proudly continues the traditions of quality and excellence that started over 80 years ago. Call us at 372-4336 or stop by our showroom at 820 West 6th and let our knowledgeable staff help you pick out the perfect doors and windows for your home.
For 90 years, the Lone Star Conference has been committed to excellence. What began in 1931 as a 5-team conference has grown to 18 institutions spanning 4 states. And while membership has changed, the pursuit of athletic success and academic excellence has never wavered. 119 national championships, over 2,000 All-Americans, and nearly 300 academic All-Americans. Celebrating 90 years of success, this is the Lone Star Conference.
Start the second half. WTB kicking off at Kingsville, going from left to right.
All right. Urias going to pooch this one high in the air, angle it toward the sideline, and it's fair caught at the 32-yard line. Bryce, what do the first half stats look like?
You know, you take a look, WT offensively led 189 total yards in this one to Kingsville's 104. Rushing yards, both teams around the 50 category, 58 for WT, 55 for Kingsville in the first half. And so, again, it's been on the ground for them primarily that has made some things happen. WT, obviously, the turnovers are the big thing in the first half. They just kind of couldn't get in any rhythm until the last 2 minutes of the first half.
Okay, let's see which side makes the adjustments.
Yeah, that's the thing. What was talked about.
And then execute. Anderson, they fake it to him. Keeper with Cavazos. The flag comes flying in. I think that's going to be holding. It's a good tackle by Sain Shuva. They were trying to use the speed of Cavazos and maybe fool the Buffs defense with that fake to the running back. Coach Hughes is pointing toward the direction of the Javelinas, saying back him up 10 yards with a holding most likely.
You know, we only had 3 flags in that first half, so the officials really letting up, didn't really call it.
Well, thank goodness we've only had 3 flags, because Bryce, Thursday night, you and I did a high school game, partner, that
31 flags.
They're still throwing flags
that were called
out at Happy State Bank Stadium.
Yes. It was indeed an interesting contest. Fun game, though. I mean,
it
really,
was a very fun game. Yep.
King Canyon and Cap Rock, 35-32.
Okay. First down and 18 from the spot foul. Cavazos down the sideline has a receiver. It is caught. And are they going to say he was inbounds?
Oh, wow.
They will say that's a catch to number 83, Craig Clemens. If this is Division I, we'll see a replay, but this play is being reviewed. I don't think he got a foot inbounds. It was an incredible catch by Craig Clemens.
But yeah, I don't think he got it inbound either.
Doesn't matter that field judge rules it inbounds. That's the largest pass completion for Texas A&M-Kingsville tonight. They hand it off up the middle. Anderson runs hard, picks up good yardage. You know, one thing with Christian Anderson that I've noticed, Bryce, not only does he run hard, he really does a good job of protecting the football tight. Doesn't let the defenders come in to try to strip it.
And that's the key for a running back. Obviously, keep it close to your body. Keep it snug right there. That way they can't come in. They can't come underneath and try to knock it away, try to punch it out, anything along that line.
So good pickup on first down. On second down, a throw to the outside. The catch made. Watch out, a lot of running room for Jackson Allen down the sideline. Allen tried to stay in bounds. He was pushed out inside the 10-yard line. And give a lot of credit to Kingsville, the way they set that play up. Great blocking. Here's your replay.
And that's the thing. They get it on the right side, and so there's 2 blockers down there. So he just had to get by one man able to do that. And thankfully, coming up, Stanusi comes up and knocks him out.
So Kingsville, talk about making adjustments.
They, again, got the wind at their back. They're going to use the passing game, and they've done that in this first series.
It's a play-action pass going to the end zone. Cavazos has a man. Touchdown, Texas A&M Kingsville.
Nobody stayed with the tight end on that one.
That was Walker Ring catching that one, and you're exactly right, Bryce. Wide open.
I mean, he just went to the back of the end zone, kind of sat there. And again, little pressure, but not very much. And the quarterback had a good chance to look.
And good touch by Cavazos.
And it really was. So quite a bit different for him here to start this second half.
Well, that's a way to start for the Javelinas, taking the opening kickoff of the second half and going right down the field and scoring the touchdown. The extra point from Gilbert Garza is nailed through the uprights. So the Javelinas strike first here in the third quarter. Their lead 17-10 over the Buffs, 13:31 to play in the third quarter. We're back right after this timeout on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
80 years, the Lone Star Conference has been committed to excellence. What began in 1931 as a 5-team conference has grown to 18 institutions spanning 4 states. And while membership has changed, the pursuit of athletic success and academic excellence has never wavered. 119 national championships, over 2,000 All-Americans, and nearly 300 academic All-Americans. Celebrating 90 years of success, this is the Lone Star Conference.
Choosing the right countertops for your kitchen can be tricky. Nowadays, there are hundreds of colors, patterns, and textures and materials that range from natural to engineered stone. Marble Depot is here for you throughout every step of the process. And yes, we do have a lot of options that might make that decision a little harder, but we're also going to ask the right questions so that you get the most out of your investment. So come by our showroom and let us help create what you've been dreaming of.
Welcome back to Bain Schaefer Buffalo Stadium. That did not take long. That was the most impressive that we've seen Kingsville's offense with run and pass tonight.
Yeah, and they mixed it up really nicely. Cavazos, 10-yard pass to his tight end, Walter Ring. The extra point is good. They lead 17-10, but very efficient. Took about a minute and a half off the clock to start this third quarter.
Heston Marshall going to watch this one go over his head. And so we'll see the Buffalo offense back on the field, and they ended the half on a strong note.
Yeah.
Big play, obviously, with Shaquille Brown, and ended up getting that long touchdown pass from Gerber. Buffs offense then also had a long field goal from the kicker, Gage Urias. Got to see some more consistency here in the second half. You could tell from Coach Hughes, even though with the long play from Shaq Brown, he was a little frustrated with his offense.
Well, he was extremely frustrated, again, because of the giveaways. Really, they just weren't playing very well.
On first down, here's Jared Compton. He's had a quiet night to this point. Picks up a couple yards.
And the thing that, from a defensive standpoint, if you're Kingsville, right now, the Buffaloes almost every time have ran to the left side of the line. And so what you want to do, you can kind of stack up over there. Got a player with a cramp for Kingsville.
Injury timeout.
Well, and
get him to the side.
And one thing to note, Bryce, is a pretty big thing offensively. We've been talking about these defensive injuries, but you're missing over on the left side, junior Adam Alcorta, number 75, yes. Honorable mention all LSC left tackle from last year. Just ask the Dallas Cowboys, when you lose your left tackle, how do things work for you?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing that makes a big difference.
And just so our viewers know, I am a Cowboys fan, so don't throw any shots at me, but it's true that those left tackles so important, and Buffs having to have different players move positions and step up. Gerber steps up in the pocket. Wobbly pass was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and part of the reason it was tipped is the defensive line for Kingsville. They are moving that offensive line back.
Well, and they're big, too. That's the thing is, again, 6'2 guys, 6'3 guys that are just coming in, got their hands in the air, and so even though Nick's a bigger quarterback than what Cavazos is, you're still looking over some tall people out there trying to get it up the field.
Alex Smith, Xavier Henderson, 6'2", 315, 6'2", 290. Ezra Thibodeau, 6'3", 270. There is a huge hit at the end of that incomplete pass.
Well, and again, Nick is out of rhythm because he was trying to get it to Noah Bogardus, but threw it behind him. And so he didn't even really give him a chance. He tried to turn around and come up with it, but he really didn't even give his receiver a chance to pull that one in.
Yeah, that was Noah Bogardus was trying to hold that pass in. Darian Mayberry, I mean, that was old school safety right there. That looked like Ronnie Lott coming across the middle.
Just saw Nick Gerber talking on the sideline to the wide receivers coach about what he was looking at, what he see. And again, that pass was just not where it's supposed to be. A bad punt here.
Ollie Yart with a low line drive punt that's going to take a great bounce for the Buffs and roll all the way down near the 20-yard line. We've seen Ollie Yart with a 66-yard punt. That one's going to be pretty far down there,
this
too.
One he tried to keep low, though, because of that wind that's still howling in from the southwest. And so that trying to make a low line drive punt, and it turned out to the advantage of WT.
We'll have a media timeout. We'll step aside and be right back after this timeout here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
Inside the shopping carts around the field for a chance to win gifts valued at $25 to $200.
Delicious, refreshing, Pepsi.
Since 1910, WT and the Department of Agricultural Sciences have served the Panhandle and beyond.
Today, WT is committed to continuing an ag heritage tradition while inspiring innovation and cutting-edge education. As a regional research university, through ag industry partnerships, WT is focused on solving real-world problems and developing future ag leaders. For more information about supporting WT Ag, go to wtamu.edu/ag.
Well, welcome back to Bain Schaefer Stadium as the Buffaloes trail 17-10. Kingsville took the opening second half kickoff, and in about a minute 30, they were able to get it down the field, capped off on a 10-yard pass to their tight end, Walter Rain, and the extra point was good. They lead 17-10. Really and truly, the Buffs offense looked good in the last 2 minutes of the first half.
Yeah.
Now they're struggling even here in the second half to get things
well, in Kingsville's defense, kind of a role reversal. They just pumped up the offense now, right?
Yeah, they really did. They really did, because they made a big stop. And so now the offense is out there once again getting an opportunity here to see if they can move the football.
Okay. Cavazos will work out of the gun with Christian Anderson at running back. Anderson, the stretch play, cannot get around the edge, and that is thanks to the Buffs' great defense. Number 24, Carson Otworth, comes up from the safety spot. Good tackle in the open field.
That was just good safety play. Otworth read that one, had an angle, knew where the running back was trying to get to the outside, and threw him for a 2-yard loss. And so credit our safety with making a great read and coming up and making the play happen.
Well, and give a lot of credit to Otworth, because how we've talked a lot tonight about how hard it is to bring down Christian Anderson.
It is, and he just went on a great angle to pull that one down.
On second down, play action, they throw to the outside. Catch is made, but not for much. As having to go high in the air to bring that one in was number 13, Jason Gaines.
And so that was kind of the inconsistency of Jacob Cavazos in the first half throwing the football. This last drive they had where they got the touchdown was very consistent. But that, again, is a good example of him throwing it too high for his receiver to do anything.
Crowd making some noise on third down and long. 11:30 to play, third quarter. Javelinas lead by a touchdown. Home run ball down the sideline, and a diving catch is made. Wow. Number 83, Craig Clemens.
The result of
that
the play
is selling out for a catch right here. This is a great play for Clemens.
It's just a stretch sprint on the right side, full out. He lays out forward and able to pull it in. Defenders were trying to get there, but again, he just outran them.
Clemens looking like he's had the baton in his hands on anchor leg on the sprint relay there. He was hauling down the sideline. Great catch by the junior out of Corpus Christi. Anderson over the right side, one man misses. Powerful end of that run there, resulting in an 8-yard gain for Christian Anderson, who is on his way closer now to, looking at maybe a 100-yard rushing game for him. Stats are a little behind right now, but he is definitely, last week 19 carries, 109 on the ground. He's been good tonight. So has the Javelinas offensive line. Anderson left side at the 20, breaks free, touchdown Javelinas. That one goes 32 yards right up the gut for Christian Anderson.
It kind of looked like the sea parted there a little bit for him. So I don't know if it was a misread. The linebackers go to the outside. And so, again, so too actually did the safeties. They kind of went to the outside. Didn't get a good read on him carrying the football, and he went in really unscathed.
So the Javelinas 14 unanswered points to start the second half. Well, I say 14, 13. If Garza can tack on the extra point, it'll be 14. Better snap that time. Hold us down, and Garza's kick is good. Texas A&M-Kingsville. We were tied at halftime, 10-10. Right now, it's the Javelinas leading by 14 points, 24-10. Buffs offense got some work to do when we come back here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
Choosing the right countertops for your kitchen
Media
can
timeout.
be tricky. Nowadays, there are hundreds of colors, patterns, and textures and materials that range from natural to engineered stone. Marble Depot is here for you throughout every step of the process. And yes, we do have a lot of options that might make that decision a little harder, but we're also going to ask the right questions so that you get the most out of your investment. So come by our showroom and let us help create what you've been dreaming of.
Delicious, refreshing, Pepsi.
Since 1910, WT and the Department of Agricultural Sciences have served the Panhandle and beyond.
Today, WT is committed to continuing an ag heritage tradition while inspiring innovation and cutting-edge education. As a regional research university, through ag industry partnerships, WT is focused on solving real-world problems and developing future ag leaders. For more information about supporting WT Ag, go to wtamu.edu/agday.
All right, Bethany's up 1-0. On your mark, get set, go! Well, we've got a winner. It's going to be Bethany.
In the second half,
Congratulations.
they are really kind of putting it to the Buffalo defense.
When you can run the football effectively, just changes everything, and that's been the one thing that Kingsville has really dominated in, especially coming out in the second half. The ground attack with Christian Anderson, give a lot of credit to that offensive line. They're opening up some big holes. Rafael Rico, Jared Ariano, Will Quino, the center, and over on the right side, Troy Billman and Brandon Jackson. The Hogs doing work tonight.
They are. And the Hogs up front are really opening some holes for them to run through. here in this second half.
All right, this Buff offense needs to respond here. Heston Marshall would love to get his hands on a kick return, and he will from the 1-yard line. Marshall. Oh, wow. Runs right into a Kingsville special teams player. And that was just offensive player meets defensive player. Almost looked like those battle balls.
Yeah.
It was just a draw.
And exactly. And so who won? And you watch the return here as Heston gets it.
I think it was number 44 for the Javelinas.
And actually, he just could not find a lane to run through.
Okay. Ball spotted at the 16-yard line for the Buffaloes. 10:18 to play, third quarter. A lot of time.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a ton of time.
Yes.
But you got to get going now. They brought Shaq Brown out again.
On first down, handoff up the middle, trying to get something going on the ground. That was Isaiah Smallwood for a short gain. Kingsville, good job there defensively. One of the players in on the stop. Number 92, Corey Bolds.
So the thing we talked about coming into this was, would this Kingsville team gel? This is really their first test of the season, and so far they've done well.
They have Gerber looking for a target across the middle. Shaq Brown. He's been the go-to guy tonight, and that's a good pickup. I think if I'm Nick, I keep trying to find number 6.
Well, the thing about it with Shaq Brown, too, is you're utilizing his size, 6'2", 6'3". He matches up better with the secondary.
Handoff over the right side. Smallwood squeezes through. Good blocking, especially from number 76.
Ball carried by Isaiah Smallwood.
For the Buffaloes over there, the offensive line. Who is that? That is Zach Dietrich.
Yeah.
Nice job by Dietrich.
2nd and 3.
Keep it on the ground. Smallwood.
Oh, that looked like a face mask. Nobody called it, but boy, that if 92 Corey Bolds got away with a face mask there.
Well, you saw Nick Gerber turn and look to the referee.
I mean, I saw that all the way up here, and so nevertheless, nice tackle by Bonds to stop that drive.
So it sets up a 3rd down and 6. Buffaloes trying to keep the drive going. 3 receivers on the far side. Gerber wanted to throw, pumps, completes it to Hunter Kaufman. He is 1 yard short of the first down marker. And injured player Isaiah Jacobs is down. Gives Hunter Hughes a chance to think about this, Bryce. It's 4th and 1. You're down by 14 points, but the football is on your own 43-yard line.
Yeah, and that's, again, you're trying to get something going with your offense, and so that's been an issue throughout this game tonight.
Is it too early for him to go for it on 4th and 1 from this field position?
You know, you feel, and again, the question is, too, do you feel good about your defense? And right now, this second half, the defense has been kind of lit up by Javelinas. And so, you know, I don't know that you feel really good about either side of the ball at the moment. And so you're trying to find somebody to get in rhythm here a little bit.
Still attending to the injured player. Now he gets up, so good sign there for the Javelinas. Isaiah Jacobs has an interception already tonight. He gets up and gets some help from the training staff.
Now he's been down twice, and so primarily he's cramping up. That's what you can see. So we'll go find some mustard or some pickle juice or something for him over there on the sideline.
LSC scoreboard update. Angelo State, a close one now. UTPB battling back 27-21. 7:33 to play in the 4th quarter. Rams lead on the road.
Yeah.
So Falcons giving a game to Angelo State. 4th down and 1. Buffs are going for it. Gerber under center with Smallwood, the running back, deep behind him. Looks like they might just be going quarterback sneak here. Gerber was trying to get the Javelinas to jump.
I think they're trying to get him to jump.
Now will they?
Plenty of time on the play clock.
Gerber quarterback sneak. They got it. Just enough. Gets to the 45-yard line. Good push from the offensive line. And
First down.
big 66 Patrick Gray.
Yeah, and go behind the big guy. And so that's exactly what they did. And so Gerber confident, just get the snap and just go off that right side of the line.
Gerber keeps it this time, throwing on the run. Good catch made by Kaufman, but it very sure tackle on the outside by Amos Coleman.
Okay, I was going to say he didn't get a good spot, but then the official moved up and gave him close to the 49. And so
Amos Coleman, and on that
now Max Perez comes in for the first time I've seen him tonight. Another one of the tight ends. Shaq Brown's out there.
Again, that's what's, I think Gerber's got to look at him on the slot. He has been tough to cover tonight for the Kingsville secondary. They're going to stay on the ground with Smallwood, and he gains yardage on the other side of the 50 into Javelina territory.
This is exactly what you need, a good concentrated drive. Get down, let's get some points. Let's kind of get back in this one.
3rd and short, Gerber. Good fake, a lot of running room for Nick Gerber, and he dives forward. Another first down for the Buffaloes. This is what we saw in week 1. Nick did a lot of running against Western Colorado.
It's good misdirection, and that's what he did that time. Again, fakes the handoff, goes the opposite way, picks up the first down.
And some tempo here from the Buffaloes offense. Gerber runs it again. And look at him run over a defender at the 35-yard line. You know, Nick is saying, this is my last year to play here, right? I'm putting everything out there. And another Kingsville player goes down. As right now they're having a hard time tackling the quarterback, Nick Gerber.
Well, that's what tempo does, too. It kind of gets players worn out a little bit. So Buff's trying to take advantage of it. They're going to go over and check with Nick, too, real quick, just to make sure he's okay. And so, again, taking some punishment there, but doing it for, trying to get this offense in gear.
Mentioned the Angelo State score. Let's look at the other scores from around the Lone Star Conference while we have a second. Tarleton over Eastern New Mexico, early 4th quarter, 34-6. Western Oregon, second quarter action. Actually, it's at halftime. This is a high-scoring game. Western Oregon leads Western New Mexico 27-21 at one of our favorite places that we used to make the trip to, Ben Altamirano Field in Silver City, New Mexico.
It's awesome. It's an awesome
it's a beautiful place
to go to, a beautiful facility. I know they've done some things. They've kind of updated some things as well, but you got the mariachi band out there and just a good atmosphere, a fun college atmosphere over in Silver City.
Midwestern State at home tonight, losing right now 21-7 against Michigan Tech. Here's a handoff to Smallwood over the left side. Ball loose. He did. The ball was fumbled and the Javelinas recovered, I believe. Yes, they did. At the 32-yard line, Texas A&M-Kingsville forces another turnover.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Kingsville. First down.
It was coming through number 12, Dalen Gantz, the linebacker that recovers that fumble. The first man shooting through, I think, was number 31, DeMarcus Hendricks from the edge.
You see the hit right there, boom, and then the ball spreads free, and it's on the ground, and it's 2 Kingsville players that are on top of it right there.
Wow.
Recover. Another giveaway by the offense, and so, again,
and they had a drive going.
Yeah, this is the thing. This is the thing that they're really going to take a long look at, a lot of different things as far as what they're trying to do to move this ball.
So the Javelinas take over. Cavazos, a man in his face, slings this ball out of bounds. Good decision there. Eric Goodman rushing off the edge, and no time for that play to develop.
And smartly, you just get it to the sideline and throw it.
Oh,
there's a flag.
Are they going to say intentional grounding?
He wasn't. I don't think he was out of the tackle box, so that may be the reason why.
And Coach Salinas is, I think, arguing there was a receiver close. I don't know if we have that replay or not, but the referees are going to communicate here and try to get the right call.
There is no foul for intentional grounding. He was outside the tackle box and made it to the line of scrimmage.
They did say
it's second down.
That he was outside the tackle box.
Of course, the referee, guy that you know, Israel Silva.
Yes.
So,
officials tonight: Israel Silva, head referee; umpire Randy Copeland, the head linesman Asa Costin, field judge Larry Bell, the line judge Corey Hicks, side judge Steve Hill, back judge Christopher Johnson, and the center judge is Jake Shimate. It's a pass completion to number 5 Jackson Allen, and they slung out of bounds quickly after yardage picked up.
And Shuva comes over, wraps him up, and takes him out. So nice job by Sign coming up to make that stop. Brings up a 3rd and 5, 3rd and almost 6, really.
In this third quarter, working down quickly, just 5:40 to play. Buff defense needs to get off the field here on 3rd down and 5. Javelinas changed the play at the line of scrimmage. Cavazos with pressure in his face, taken down. Chris Thomas shoots through. And there were about 3 Buff defenders back there.
Braylon Sugg, well, we haven't mentioned him very much, but he came up from a corner position, came flying in. Watch Braylon come up, put pressure on him, and then the Buffs just able to wrap him up there as well, coming up to make that stop. So nice job.
Yeah, you're right. Braylon Sugg, the 215-pound redshirt freshman from Austin, forced Cavazos to have to go the other direction, and the other direction was Chris Thomas.
Yeah, don't win either way
on
that one.
So great job there by the Buffaloes defense. Whistle blows, flag flies before the punt gets away.
Procedure penalty.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense
Well, we
on the
know
49.
Tyler Sweet
5-yard
has some
penalty.
speed back there, the
Field
punt
goal
returner
count.
for the Buffaloes.
Yeah, he just would like an opportunity to cleanly field it and then see what he can do. Again, got to protect the football. That's the one thing. He's had a fumble in this one that gave it back to the Javelinas.
Right now, Sweet stands on the 40-yard line. Punt, not a good one. Wobbly, high in the air, and bounces the wrong direction for the Javelinas at the 35-yard line. Buffs are going to have excellent field position. And here's where Nick Gerber gets everybody in the huddle and says, guys, we have got to take this football down the field and go score.
Absolutely. You got great position thanks to the errant punt there. And so take advantage of it. And really, again, I like the mix they had before with him running the football.
Sure.
You know, and then throwing some passes from time to time, but really kind of keep that defense off balance.
They're going to bring Jeremy Carnbay in. Tight end, he'll set to the left side. 3 receivers come to the near side. They fake it to Compton. Gerber down the middle, found Bogardus. Stampede, baby. There's Noah Bogardus.
That's what we needed right there. Nice infusion. First play, go for the home run. And the Buffs are able to get it from Nick Gerber to Noah Bogardus to cut into that lead.
I was just thinking, looking down at the stats, Noah had had a quiet evening. Not anymore. Nick Gerber's favorite target, 3rd touchdown of the season for Noah Bogardus, the junior from Eastvale, California. And now Urias to try this extra point. He got it. Buffs cut the lead back to 7 points. Texas A&M-Kingsville 24, West Texas A&M 17. With 4:21 to play here in the 3rd quarter. We're back after this full timeout on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
Is now Optimum with award-winning internet, TV, and mobile, giving you the power to get closer and go farther with speed and reliability. With our new 100% fiber internet we're building, together with Optimum Mobile, voted #1 in customer satisfaction, you'll get the complete connectivity you deserve. And when you combine Optimum's award-winning connectivity with our 24/7 customer service, your future is only a connection away.
Since 1933, the Panhandle Plains Historical Museum has housed the vast history of Panhandle Plains, given back to the community, and provided educational resources to those who live here. Located on the campus of West Texas A&M University, PPHM is free to all students, faculty, and staff at WT. We offer volunteer opportunities, internships, and hands-on research experience. From prehistoric times to pioneer travels, there's something.
All right, the Buffaloes with the lead.
Back to Bain Schaefer. Yeah, go ahead.
24-17. Here's a kickoff. Urias. This one has a chance to be fielded at the 5-yard line. Some speed for the Javelinas. And then some power at the end of that return there. Good return by number 2, Amos Coleman. Bryce, a quick drive for the Buffs.
A quick drive, one-play drive. They go 31 yards on a quick strike from Nick Gerber to Noah Bogardus, following the poor punt from Kingsville. The Buffs take advantage, able to get in the end zone and got the lead to 24-17.
So now can Texas A&M-Kingsville continue what the offense has done so far in the third quarter? They've been very efficient.
They really have, although they haven't had any big time-consuming drives. And so, again, that'll be the question. Can they do that here with 4:12 left to play in the third quarter?
Christian Anderson, good spin move, hard to tackle. He's brought down at the end of that play by the Buffaloes, number 46 on the tackle. That is Stazuski. That wraps up the ball carrier, but not before Anderson picked up 5 yards.
And credit Kingsville, they're able to get to that second layer as far as the second level, as far as the Buffs defense is concerned. That's where you can make those big 6, 7, 8 yard gains.
Anderson up the middle. Yardage to the 40-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down and 2 here for Texas A&M-Kingsville.
One thing that's interesting, if you look at the linemen for Kingsville, they look a bit winded right now. So I don't know that they are, but they look that way.
Anderson thrown for a big loss. Michael Smith just launches himself off the left side of the line. Got by the lineman, and again, it was a guy that was slow to get back. Watch him just knife by, and then just able to wrap up. That's called the lookout block, Bryce.
Oh, my land.
You got to turn around and tell your running back to look out.
That's exactly right. And so, again, they forced him back. Now it's 4th and long. Keep in mind, the quarterback is the punter. And so they got some guys out on the far sideline.
You could hear the crowd get into that play, and a little bit of momentum shift.
High snap.
Yep, over the head of the punter. Cavazos picks it up, and he's taken down at the 15-yard line. Kenneth Red Jr. Well,
that's what you need.
Special
right
teams.
And we need a good special teams player, and we just got it right there. Nice job by Kenneth Red Jr. Good speed, able to get the quarterback down.
So with 2:27 left in the third quarter, things changing the way of the Buffaloes right now. And so Coach Salinas for the Javelinas is going to ask his defense to come up big here.
So double tight ends out here for the Buffaloes, but they're kind of split a little bit out.
Now you got Shaq Brown over on the far side. They'll hand it to Compton. Jared Compton into the end zone. Nobody touched that man. Easy money there for Jared Compton.
And again, they had Carnbay sit up on the right side that time. They ran behind him. And again, he hit through a nice block to the right there a little bit and was able to get, there is again, just a cramp. It's got a Kingsville player down.
But, Carnbay last year, Bryce, was named honorable mention all LSC. Right. He didn't have many catches. No. There's a reason why he was named to that team. Yeah. He's one of the best blockers in Division II.
And that's why Hunter Hughes is so high on Max Perez, on Shaq Brown, and on Jeremy Carnbay because of the way, not only now this year more so, they are more in the flow, especially the passing game, but that was a great block from Jeremy that got Jared Compton into the end zone for the score, as we can almost tie this one up. And so what we don't need now is the Buffs offense have come in spurts the last 2 minutes of the first half, and here in the 2-minute window here in the third quarter. We'll still take it.
That's right.
But I'd like it to be a little more consistent.
That was Jared Compton's best run of the night. Kind of broke free there, and the speed took over, did the rest.
And so, and I'll go back to a comment I made just a moment ago about their linemen looking winded.
Yeah.
Now, and you say, why in the world would, but it's kind of like going for them to come here. They're at sea level. I mean, they're not very high. They're at sea level. We're at 3,500 feet above sea level. And that shouldn't be a big deal, but it's like going to Denver and for the NFL teams that go up there because the oxygen's a little thinner. Now, it's not as much here. I'm probably exaggerating more than I'm stating fact, but again, they look a little fatigued here. And so that's hopefully to the advantage of West Texas.
The injured player off on the side, and
I'm not sure why they don't go ahead and play, because he's out. In fact, he's behind the hash mark, and so that's
it's not most likely not going to affect the play.
Right.
As Urias is waiting for this extra point. What a good comeback here for the Buffs.
All right, Buffets, it's time.
It was 24-10. Kingsville with 2 touchdown drives.
And so what do you do when you get this long delay? You bring out the dance cam to get the crowd back into it a little bit here, as now the player is up and will slowly go to the far side.
Several players that have had trouble cramping up.
And that's the thing. The good thing is that's what's happening, is they're cramping up. It's not they're not getting serious injuries. They're just cramping up. And so that's one of the things here that, is causing them some problems.
I'm hoping one of these times when they do the dance cam that we can catch Kent Johnson down there. Oh, speaking of, there's Kent Johnson.
Oh, he's right behind us. He's not on the dance cam.
So we'll eventually get to this Gage Urias extra point and hopefully be tied up. Right now it's 24-23. Buffs storming back here at the end of the third quarter. Good job by the holder to get that snap down. Urias is good. Buffaloes have tied it up 24-24. We got ourselves a game. We'll be back right after this timeout on the LSC Digital Network.
Onside kick. Landed on my knee pretty hard and ended up fracturing my femur. I ended up having to go back and have surgery. Even the day after I had surgery, I was back in the clinic here. It's nice to have people help me rehab at a caliber of what I'm used to feeling like I can do. One thing that I really liked was having the access to the turf, because that's what I'm used to playing on. Now, I mean, it feels like nothing had ever happened. You have a choice of where you can go. This is one of the best places in Amarillo.
Welcome back to Bain Schaefer Buffalo Stadium. You see our score all tied up, 24-24. West Texas A&M and Texas A&M-Kingsville.
Well, again, Jared Compton gets around on a nice run to get in the end zone. Extra point is good. We're tied at 24. So the Buffs have answered back on basically one play drive to get back into this one.
And they, using the crowd. I mean, you had a big sack, big play, loss of yardage from Michael Smith defensively that on a third down that got the crowd fired up. The fourth down play, snap goes over the punter's head. And then WT takes advantage and scores from the next play.
And so again, you're right. Letting the crowd back into it, bringing that energy, building off of that energy. Now you got to go out and make a defensive stop again. Try to make it and see if we can get something positive. We have not led in this ball game. We've tied it twice at the half at 10-10, and now again here at 24-24.
So if you're a Javelinas fan, Bryce, you're saying we need to get that offense again, right? We looked great the first 2 drives to start the third quarter.
Exactly.
A shift here as 3 players move from the left over to the right side. Cavazos pitches it out to Anderson. Nobody blocking in front of him. Samote Samate.
Critic Chris Thomas, because he read the angle on that, got up there, forced the play back to the middle, and then Samate able to make the stop.
Some help from Cole Coaster from the linebacker spot as well. And this offensive line for Kingsville, talking about the Hogs dominating for a lot of this game. They have struggled the last several drives. Play action, a receiver is wide open at the 40 and then slung out of bounds. And if that pass is a little bit more on the mark, that's a touchdown. The receiver beat the defensive back the entire way there. Craig Clemens.
Great call that time as you watch on the replay. Again, fake the handoff, and then this got a receiver. They sent him out down deep. He's the one that caught another pass a while ago and just really did a nice job.
He is a fast receiver out there.
And that's what Kingsville's been missing the last few years. are those speedy receivers.
Yeah.
And so they're able to get a few back here in the fold.
Big pickup there for the Javelinas. A first down all the way down to the 35-yard line in Buffalo territory. Pitch goes out to the running back. It's a throw back to the quarterback. Cavazos hurdles a defender. There's a tricky play for you. Cavazos, a really good athlete, and that caught everybody off guard because Roger Hagan, 220-pound, boulder of a running back. You're not expecting that play.
And so that's one of those wrinkles. They ran that same play. They ran play first to begin with to the right side.
Yeah.
They got blown up by the WT defense, and then they run the same play, the same looking play, but this time it's a throwback to the quarterback.
8-yard pickup. On second down, Hagan takes it, goes right up the middle, and is close to the first down marker. A little collision at the end of the play with number 23, Terrence Clark, the 200-pound senior out of Dallas. He did not hit it. It's 3rd and short. Expect pressure from the Buffs defense here. Linebackers walked up on the outside. Hagan over the left side. Tough running. He's got the first down.
Yeah, go with the conservative play that time because, again, your running game has been working fairly well tonight.
Yeah.
Use that big offensive line. Yeah, they were fatigued a while ago, but got that second wind out there right now and just use their power to drive our line back and pick up that first down.
Javelinas may be content to let this clock run down into the fourth quarter. Right now, 15 seconds left. That's what Cavazos just looked over and said, "Coach, you want us to go?" Yes, I do. Handoff. Anderson. Tough run. He's going to gain yardage inside the 20 to the 18. So that will be the last play of the third quarter. Start of the second half. Kingsville, a couple of punches.
Quick
right?
touchdowns. Yeah, quick.
Two touchdowns. Buffs respond. They score 2 touchdowns. And so we head to the fourth quarter. Great game, great finish coming your way. 24-24. We're back with the fourth quarter here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. Don't go anywhere.
West is the comprehensive fundraising campaign designed to fuel WT 125 from the Panhandle to the world. We will strengthen WT's impact for the Panhandle region and beyond through a historic, comprehensive campaign raising $125 million by 2025. The campaign's 3 priorities: people, programs, and places. Now is the time to make a difference for current and future generations. One West.
Welcome to Shimon Dental Group, where every day we're excited to see our patients and treat them like family. We are dedicated to providing you with the highest quality care in a friendly and comfortable environment. Shimon Dental Group's patient-focused philosophy puts your needs front and center.
We are constantly investing in leading-edge technology. Innovations that speed the treatment process and improve aesthetics. We're expanding the breadth of our cosmetic and restorative services through training to provide the best possible outcomes.
Just with the level of commitment that they show to taking care of my family and I, it's absolutely unmatched in this town, so I've been very happy with them.
Brightening smiles for more than 3 decades.
Contact Shimon Dental Group for your appointment today.
All right, the lights are out.
We're jumping around.
And it's jump around time as we start the fourth quarter. We got a great atmosphere and a great game score, 24-24 as we head to the fourth quarter. The Javelinas with a 2nd down and 5 right now on the Buffs' 18-yard line.
2nd and 4.
Christian Anderson, the running back, 3 receivers out to the right. Anderson made one man miss and picked up good yardage to the couple of yards to about the 15-yard line.
Well, again, it goes off the left side of the line, and as you said, had somebody diving at his feet, he was able to sidestep it and then pick up a couple of more.
If I'm Mike Salinas, though, I can't be too conservative here. He's got a great field goal kicker, but you need to go score a touchdown if you're Kingsville. You can't settle for field goal.
No, you're on the road. You want to try to get in the end zone as much, obviously, as you can.
3rd and short. Anderson up the middle, first down, Javelinas. He got yardage to the 11-yard line. And you mentioned it, the last drive, the offensive line looked tired.
Yeah.
They were missing some blocks. They kind of caught their wind here, and they've been good on this drive. Terrence Clark in on the tackle for the Buffs.
You know, that's a good thing. They got a really good offensive line, and so again, as they progress down through the Lone Star Conference, they'll give some teams some problems.
Hagan takes the carry, and good penetration from the Buffs. Eric Goodman came from the backside, the defensive end spot on the inside. Antonio Iwagwu there, Goo, mucking things up. Can't tell if that's a 31 or a 91 with his jersey, Bryce. In the old days, you know, they would have been the belly hanging out there, but he's got the long sleeves on tonight.
Yeah.
Great tackle by Goo. It's 2nd down and long. Quarterback keeper to the right. Cavazos, good cut, taken down at about the 7-yard line.
Well, that's not good, because the man that comes up and makes the tackle for the Buffaloes, Eric Goodman, kind of grabs his arm, and he's kind of slow to come up. In fact, they're going to make him come out because he looked like he got a stinger.
There's another 3rd and short, 3rd down and 5 for the Javelinas. Buffs crowd making some noise. Cavazos slings it out to the tight end, who stays up and gets into the end zone. Incredible effort by the tight end, number 87, Alan Arclees. He was carrying defenders with him into the end zone.
He really was. Arclees came across on a crossing pattern that time and got it, and then again had a couple of smaller defenders tried to come up and wrap him up, but he just kind of lowered the boom and was able to dive into the end zone for the score.
6'4", 235 pounds. He used all of it to get into the end zone. Big score for the Javelinas. They go up 30-24. Extra point try coming here from Gilbert Garza. And it's good. So a big response there for Kingsville.
That's a really important response for them, because they were able to drive. That was a lengthy drive for them, and they were able to get up the field and kind of make that happen.
All right, we're back with the kickoff right after this timeout.
Welcome back to Bain Schaefer Stadium, as Kingsville is able to go on 11-play, 75-yard drive. Took 4:27 off the clock. They cap it off with a pass to their tight end, Arclees, as he's able to get in on a 5-yard pass completion from Cavazos. The extra point is good.
And we were talking about the effort in terms of him dragging defenders. Bryce, he had to catch it first.
And the thing is, it was an awkward turn to catch it. He had to kind of look back and kind of pull it over his shoulder, or reach down and pull it down. It was down low, pull it up, and then turn upfield.
Yes.
And so he did a nice job, and that shows his strength.
And a lot of maturity for Kingsville offensively. A couple of 3rd down conversions they had to pick up. Crowd making a lot of noise. You're on the road, game tied.
Yeah. No, I think that really was the best drive of the night for them. They needed a sustained drive, and they were able to get it right there.
So the Buffs need to answer now. Kickoff into the wind will be fielded by Heston Marshall from the 15-yard line. Runs into his own man, Noah Bogardus, who slowed down Marshall. Still got a good return across the 27-yard line, but that play will not be on the highlight reel.
Again, Noah's trying to get out of the way, move over to try to get a block, and just ran into his own man.
Shows Heston. Heston's trying to run over you no matter what color jersey you have on. You get in his way. Good return. So Gerber back on the field. Jared Compton, last time he touched the ball, he raced into the end zone. Compton, hard hit.
And you could hear that up here.
Yes, you could.
Yeah, that was the shoulder pads clicking for both players. And Jared on a nice hard 3-yard run.
That was Khalid Walker. So they give Jared a 3-yard pickup there. Compton staying on the ground again over the left side. Not much, a couple of yards. And this time for the Javelinas, Dalen Gantz. Linebackers have been pretty solid tonight for Texas A&M-Kingsville. So now you got 3rd down and 5. You got to pick up this 1st down.
Right. And so they had Max Perez out there as a tight end. They had a double tight end set. Now they've switched it up to 4 wides.
Gerber in trouble and hit hard, sacked. Ball popped free at the end, but he was down. And Gerber slow to get up at Kingsville coming through. It's a couple times tonight that we've mentioned number 1.
Isaiah Bean that just really came and again, it transferred from Kansas, and there's a reason he went to Kansas. Got good size, good muscle, able to come in and kind of disrupt the play.
Angelo State goes on to defeat UT Permian Basin. They pick up the win tonight. Rams stay undefeated, number 5 team in the country. Here's the punt from Ollie Yart. Nice high spiraling punt fielded at the 21-yard line. And going nowhere on the return. Buff Special Teams does a great job as it injured players down for WT. Jason Gaines on the return. And for the Buffaloes in on the tackle, number 42, Cade
Injury
Cox,
timeout.
redshirt freshman from Dumas. Injury timeout right now with the player down at the 15-yard line. We'll step aside. Our score 31-24. Texas A&M-Kingsville leads by a touchdown with 10:49 to play in the ballgame.
This is a walk-on athlete. They train longer and put their heart into the game. This is the passion we're built on. It's why we put our heart into creating game day with a taste of Louisiana. Walk-ons, we live for this.
Since 1910, WT and the Department of Agricultural Sciences has provided high-quality education to the students of the Panhandle and beyond.
At WT, professors know me and are committed to my success.
If you want to get an ag industry job, WT is where you need to be.
I don't want just a job and a paycheck after graduation. I want a career where I can make a difference.
WT invested in my career. I intend to pay it forward.
Energy is a glowing sphere of hot gas. It's an ocean of air. And at Excel Energy, we make it safe. It's why we train first responders. Help you identify where utility lines are buried. Sir, do not dig there. And it's why we study the flight paths of majestic golden eagles before we build a wind farm. Safer energy, people. It's all part of a carbon-free 2050. You, us, together.
Well, welcome back to Bain Schaefer Stadium as the Buffaloes send a punt inside the 25. They mark it at the 24-yard line. Heston Marshall was the player they brought over to the sideline, so they'll attend to him.
All right, Buff's defense got to tighten up here. You cannot let Kingsville run the ball, run the clock, and sit on this 7-point lead right now. Anderson takes the ball just 1 yard forward. Good to see Dylan Mata down there, number 95. Along with Gu and Michael Smith up on the defensive line. Again, Buffs tonight had some injuries. They've been without the services of Xavier Rivera, the nose guard, and also JT Cavender, the talented inside linebacker. Cavazos swings the pass out, caught on the edge, and then breaking some tackles and gaining good yardage. Gain of about 8 yards there for the receiver, number 80, Blake Hoffman, his first catch tonight.
So they got it out to Blake, and blocking for him was Jackson Allen. And he really was able to turn a Buff defender to the outside. He wasn't able to get back in order to turn that play a little more in than they wanted to. And so, again, good block from the wide receiver.
Clock runs down to 9:45, still ticking with 3rd and 2 facing the Javelinas right here. Empty backfield for Cavazos. He's going to throw to his running back who nobody covered. Christian Anderson wide open, and he picks up the first down. Way too easy there.
And so in that particular play, you would expect a linebacker to kind of be shadowing, and so somebody wasn't watching what Anderson was doing, and so he was able to get out there, like you said. Nobody picked him up. And so nice disguised play for Kingsville as they were able to pick up the first down.
Yeah, and 3 more downs at least for Kingsville, which means the clock will continue to run with the Javelinas up by a touchdown here in the 4th quarter. Anderson inside the tackles, another good gain up to the 41.
Christian Anderson, the ball.
So attendance for tonight's ball game, 7,327. For this on Teachers Night.
You know, look at the yards. Every time Anderson has touched the ball, his yards per carry average is above 5. He's at 5.3 yards a carry.
And so on that run, too, that put Kingsville's offense ahead of WT for the first time tonight. They're at 332 to 327.
They fake it to Anderson. Cavazos tried to connect with his tight end Arcleys, and he dropped that one. Good for the Buffs. Incomplete pass stops the clock with 8:28, sets up 3rd and 5.
Good pressure from Eric Goodwin that time, and so that's where you have to make a choice. Do you take the quarterback? Do you take the tight end in that case? But he faded off to the quarterback, forced him to throw, and then he just threw it wide of his target.
Just got the numbers from Kent Johnson. The attendance tonight announced at 7,327. Great crowd out at Bain Schaefer Buffalo Stadium. 3rd and a long 5 here for the Javelinas. Cavazos across the middle, and he just put it a little too far out of the reach of the intended receiver, Jason Gaines, and it'll be a punt situation here for the Javelinas. Receiver was there across the middle, but incomplete.
And so again, that was one where the quarterback tried to go over the middle, but had his running back roll out. Roger Hagan rolled out, same kind of play that they did with Anderson earlier. Nobody picked him up, so he did have Hagan over there on the sideline if he could have looked over and made that connection.
All right, Tyler Sweet. What do you say you get a good punt return here? Cavazos not going to give him a chance. That wobbly kick is pretty good when it hits at the 25-yard line. And so it'll be Kingsville taking over with 8:16 to play here in the 4th quarter.
So the Buffs need to get their offense kind of back on track to where they were toward the end of the 3rd quarter. And so that's what it's been, really sporadic tonight when they're in sync. And so, again, hopefully they will find the combination that they need out there to tie this, to get this one up.
Jared Compton's the running back for the Buffaloes. Noah Bagardis, receiver on the bottom of your screen. Gerber looking for Bagardis down the sideline. Noah couldn't get to that ball. There was a lot of contact there. The Buff fans thought maybe pass interference or holding should have been thrown, but officials let it go. And
well, the officials aren't going to throw the flag, and the reason why, you watch on the replay, it just wasn't a catchable ball. And so that's the thing. You can see, yes, the receiver is being grabbed right there. It's not catchable. That's why the receiver, and Hunter Hughes obviously is expressing his opinion with the field judge, but nevertheless, he is going to say that wasn't catchable.
On 2nd down, this time they give it to Compton. And Jared's going to be slammed down to the turf. Defensive play made for the Javelinas by number 98, James Perez. A 1-yard pickup there, and we're now down to 7 minutes and 50 seconds left. Buffs trailing just by a touchdown.
So got plenty of time. It's just you got to get in sync, and that's, I guess, credit Kingsville's defense with keeping the offense out of sync tonight a little bit.
3rd down and 9. Gerber throws this one incomplete. Hunter Kaufman, the intended receiver. And double coverage there. The safety, Isaiah Jacobs.
A lot of contact, and the fans wanted a call on Isaiah Jacobs in particular because he came over, made contact. He watched on the play here.
You feel like if the ball's thrown a little closer to the receiver, they
could be.
Maybe
you could make that call, but again, this one he's trying to lob it out there, and again Jacobs kind of pushed the receiver from behind. That's why the fans felt there should be a call.
So now Ollie Yart will have to punt the football. Back to Texas A&M-Kingsville, standing back at the 25-yard line.
Kingsville calls a timeout.
Is Jason Gaines. Okay.
Kingsville timeout.
So with that timeout, what we want to do is we're going to head down to the field as Kent Johnson has a special guest with him, and so we'll head down to the field, and Kent, go ahead and take it away.
You know, it's always special, Bryce and Lucas, when we have Letterman return, especially Letterman that you love to be around. And who could ever forget Sergio Castillo, Buff's place kicker, graduated in 2012. And since that time, believe it or not, he has been chasing the dream in both the NFL and the Canadian Football League, currently playing with the Edmonton Eskimos. Last night in Saskatchewan, Canadian Football League game, he booted a game-winning 47-yarder with 24 seconds to go. Sergio, you just keep on keeping on. Tell us about your world right now.
It's I'm living a kid's dream, you know, and I've been very fortunate to be in this situation where I can still play. You know, I'll be 32 in November, and it's a blessing to be able to call football my job, right? And it goes back to my roots from Texas, from West Texas, where is where I grew. It's where I became a man, right? And every time I come here, you know, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Just the memories that I had, you know, the ups and the many downs that I had, right? And everyone's gonna have downs, right? You know, it's no surprise. So it's how you take that, right? And it's the people who learn to overcome themselves. And what do I mean by that? If you can overcome your doubt, your insecurities, your ego, your pride, you can go places.
The ups and downs, you bounce from team to team, but you keep landing on your feet and performing as you did last night.
Yes, and you know, last night was just in a good situation where, you know, ever since you know, John Ryan, who's a very veteran punter and holder, he punted 12 years for the Seattle Seahawks, been with me for the past 6 weeks as my holder. It's been night and day, you know, with him having as holder. Now I'm getting to a good groove, so it's fun to kick when you know you have a very good operation. So just been having fun out there. That's the main thing, right? Have fun. If you put in the work, you can have fun, right? You can't have fun without putting in the work.
And you've maintained a connection to this Buffalo football program.
Yes, I owe WT, you know, everything. You know, it gave me an opportunity when no other school wanted to give me a shot, right? And I didn't know much about Canyon, Texas. All I knew about Amarillo was Amarillo by morning was George Strait. And I left here with a lot of memories, a lot of lessons, and, you know, the foundation to where I am now.
Well, he's from La Jolla, Texas. He used to tell us he was from Mission because nobody knew where La Jolla was. We certainly know who Sergio Castillo is now. Guys, let's go back upstairs.
All right, Kid, thanks very much. The great Sergio Castillo, great place kicker on those championship teams in the about 6-7 years ago. So great to see him here tonight.
It was a great punt by Ollie Yart. It's been very effective tonight. So has this guy right here, Christian Anderson, with another carry, and he's well over 100 yards tonight rushing for the Javelinas.
Yeah, he's done a nice job, and again, credit that offensive line as they have been able to really kind of open up some big holes for him to run through, and so he's been able to take advantage of that. That's 141 yards. Just
wow.
27 carries, 141 yards.
That was a pickup of 9, so you'll love this down if you're Kingsville. 2nd down and 1. As again, they work that play clock down to 8 seconds. Anderson slides past the first would-be tackler. Cut down at the 19-yard line. 1st down, move the chains.
1st and 10. Javelinas.
WT right now, Hunter Hughes just really cheering that defense on, to saying we got to get a stop. We got to get the football back, give our offense a chance. Down 31-24, nearing 6 minutes to play in the ball game.
And credit Kingsville's offense tonight with Anderson running over 146 yards, and then Cavazos has thrown for 214 tonight, and so he's got a quarterback rating of 169.
They stay on the ground. Anderson, good cut. Again, he's so shifty. Looks like he's going to be stopped for maybe 2-yard gain. He turns it into 7.
Well, this is their advantage. They got the nice running game going, so they're able to run the clock. They can run the play clock down as much as they can. And so in doing so, again, they're just being able to gobble up time in the ball game. Clock has stopped at 5:43, however.
Okay, now they run at 5:35. 2nd down and 4. And again, WT's defense has got to come up big here. Roger Hagan into the game, runs through one defender, and he is stopped right at the sticks. The official on the far side says move the chains.
So
first down.
as he was going down, he reaches the football forward and is able to pick up the first down.
Okay, I thought he said move the chains, but he may have been overruled, Bryce.
I'm thinking they spotted it where the knees came down, not where he was putting it where the ball came. And so, again, I think he was overruled on that.
So it is 3rd down and short for Texas A&M-Kingsville. And look at all the players stacked inside here for Texas A&M-Kingsville. Hagan over the right side. Chris Thomas got free and wrapped up the legs. Did he get him before he got the first down?
Where they mark it, he's going to be well short of the first down. In fact, he might have lost a half yard.
Well, we kept saying defense needed a big play. Number 31 comes through.
Absolutely. He came up big. And so I expect a look.
No way Coach Salinas goes for it here, right?
I was going to say he's going to let the play clock run down before he brings in his punt team.
Okay. There's the stop the Buffs defense needed. Great job there by Chris Thomas. Cavazos has been successful with that punt formation. It nearly hit a Buff player, and again takes a good bounce. Going to roll down to the 26-yard line. Chris Thomas tonight with 9 tackles. And
so the Kingsville players are thinking that it did touch.
It was very close, Bryce. It was
so they
very
ran it
close
to the end zone. Now the officials are going to get together. What is suspicious for the Buffaloes is Ty Dillon ran completely off the field, and so acting like it may have touched him, and so they got to get together on this and see. They're explaining it, WT coaches.
Well, I think what they're saying, the ref mic was not on, but I think what they're saying is that can't be advanced, but that where the player touched it and then recovered, it's Kingsville ball. And here's the replay. Let's look at it here, Bryce.
Yeah, that's the thing is it
hard to tell there, but
you see that's where Dillon ran off the field right there. And so they can't advance it because they did touch it dead right there.
Wow.
And so what a big miscue for WT.
So Kingsville, instead of the Buff offense coming on the field, it's Kingsville's offense that's right back on the field with 3:55 left to play, and they lead by 7. Field goal could close this thing out. Christian Anderson on the carry, stop for a loss. We haven't said that many times, but that was Chris Thomas and Carson Otworth.
And Hunter is going to say something to the side judge because there was movement on the Kingsville line that time. And again, we haven't had any flags for movement at all tonight. And so the right tackle moved and nobody threw a flag. And so they got a free, well, they lost a yard, but still it should be back 5 further.
WT still has all 3 timeouts. Clock runs down to 3:18 here in the 4th quarter, with the Javelinas up by a score. Anderson over the left side, cut down by Chris Thomas. now up to 10 tackles.
Of course, this is the question, when do you take the timeouts? We're just under 3 minutes.
I think if you get the stop right here and
take
force fourth down,
yeah,
take that first timeout. Dave Smith on the field at safety for the Buffs. Two minutes and 40 seconds. Shotgun formation here for Kingsville. Anderson motions out of the backfield. Cavazos in trouble. Throws this one up for grabs. It's intercepted. Ty Dillon bringing it out and pushed out of bounds at the 5-yard line. It's a great interception for the Buffaloes.
And that really, it looked more like that was, they didn't intend to put it away. They intended to see if they could get something in the end zone. If not, they didn't care.
Oh, but they didn't have a receiver down there.
No, they didn't, because the receiver was on the far sideline, and he goes up and out. There's one that comes up and in, and one that didn't go up.
That's miscommunication. He thought Jason Gaines was running the flag route there. Gaines ran the post to the inside. The ball was thrown to Ty Dillon. So now the Buffaloes,
2:24 left to play.
You got a chance. You just got to go 95 yards is all. And you have all 3 timeouts left. Gerber on first down. Pump fake. Throw down the far sideline. Bogardus overthrown. And there's a flag that comes flying in. And that's going to drive Kingsville crazy. They're not going to like that call, but the Buffs, again, earlier in the game.
There was a couple of they didn't get called, and that time the official throws the flag. So that means there was contact before Noah tried to streak away from the defender. And so that is the call, passing.
Coach Salinas very animated down there. Here's the replay, Bryce.
Yeah, and again, we won't see it. The contact,
maybe
a little bit right there. Yeah, that could have been it. So he was already throwing the flag before the ball even got there. And so
penalty moves the football up to the 20-yard line for the Buffs. 1st and 10. Gerber signaling something to the receivers. Now he'll take the snap. Good play defensively. That was tight coverage, and coming up to make a good play for the Javelinas, number 3 in coverage. That's Jeff Lavarin.
Yeah, that's the first time they've really looked for a receiver coming over the middle in tonight's ball game. They kind of cleared it out, and so Red came over the middle. They were trying to feed him going across in the pattern.
Stops the clock. 2:15 left. Trailing by a touchdown, Buffs. Gerber, nobody open. Now he starts running and nowhere to go. Taken down hard. Behind the, going to be back at the 19-yard line. So this is going to be 3rd down and long. The clock is still running. Surprised they're not taking a timeout.
Yeah, I'm not sure on this.
Buffs don't seem like they're in a hurry, Bryce. This is the 4th quarter.
Now he takes the timeout.
Okay.
They let another 10 seconds. Clock still running.
They may have to put some time back on. Let's keep it here. 1 minute and 44 seconds left in the ball game. We'll probably put about 4 or 5 seconds back on. But what does WT got to do here, Bryce, to get this ball down the field?
Well, again, it's just the offense has not really been in sync. And so it's probably the first game in a couple of years where I've seen Nick Gerber just not feel comfortable with what's going on.
Yeah. And I think you have to credit Kingsville
absolutely.
defensively.
I totally agree with that.
Both with their pressure and with what their secondary has done.
They came in with a good game plan, knowing it'd be hostile. They knew there'd be about 8,000, 9,000 fans here tonight. So they knew they were, ready for this. And really, they've done a really nice job containing, never allowing the run game to really get on track for WT tonight. So here, kind of forcing them into the pass game here toward the end of the contest.
3rd and 11.
They still haven't set the clock up, and so I can't believe they haven't. No, now they just did.
Okay, yeah. 6 seconds put back on. 1 minute, 50 seconds left. So now the Buffs Still shows they have 3 timeouts. Should have 2 timeouts left. Gerber on 3rd down and long. Good protection. Throw to the outside. Bogardus slipped, and the ball sails over his head. And now you're down to a 4th down play that the Buffs are desperate to pick up here. And Javelinas over on their sideline, they can sense it.
Yeah, they are enjoying this because they know here's a 4th down play. They just got to make a stop and they'll control the game.
Oh, Coach Salinas racing out. He wants a timeout to talk to his troops and make sure that they get the correct defense on the field. I don't see Shaq Brown out there, Bryce.
No, and that's the guy I would probably have out there because he has been so effective in this tonight for WT, as Shaq Brown has 3 receptions for 84 yards. By far the leading receiver in tonight's ball game, of course. So he is one that you definitely would like to see out there because he's played so well.
A reminder that after the game we'll have the Marble Depot big hits of the game. There were definitely some good ones tonight, really on both sides.
Absolutely.
But this is one where, goodness, for Coach Salinas, if they're able to win this one tonight, Bryce, on the road, hostile environment, really your first test. Everybody's saying, well, you're 2-0, but you haven't played anybody.
Well, this isn't the first team they've really played, but they were ready for this game tonight. And so, again, credit him, he and his staff. They've really kind of built a rejuvenated team here from Kingsville.
Gerber on 4th down. Got to have the 1st down, the throw to the outside, and Bogardus with the catch. They stay alive. 1st down to the 32-yard line. Here's the replay.
It's just a nice up and out. It's cleared out, and so it's one-on-one coverage. No able to hold on to it.
Buffs work quickly. Want to save those 2 timeouts. Gerber across the middle. Nobody there. Hunter Kaufman really wasn't looking for that ball. And Gerber a little frustrated there. Thought the receiver should have kept the route going.
Yeah, he's letting him know as he makes his way back. And so, again, they had a play on, and they weren't on the same page.
Yeah. Does stop the clock. 1:35 left to play, as the Javelinas lead at 31-24. Crossing route. Gerber completes it. You got to hurry up, though. Kaufman made the catch, but for a 2-yard gain. Tick, tick, tick. 125, 124. Gerber signaling out the next play. Pass complete. Receiver stayed in bounds, though.
Well,
Kaufman did not get out.
But it'll still stop the clock because they got a 1st down, so they'll move the chains. And so now they'll start it.
Well, they'll stop it because an injured player is down for Kingsville. Number 17, Antonio Singleton, drops to a knee, and so hopefully he's okay. This gives the Buffs, though, a chance to settle the offense down and for Russ Martin to communicate what he wants.
The interesting thing, though, these cramps that have occurred for Kingsville is always when WT's on a bit of a run offensively. And so they've had 3 different players with cramps that have kind of slowed down these runs for the Buffaloes.
One minute, 9 seconds remain. Official standing over the ball, waiting for the center to snap it. Now he'll step away. They'll wind the clock. Gerber on 1st down. Throw down the field, and this one is intercepted. 2nd one tonight for number 11, Isaiah Jacobs. A phenomenal catch. Had to dive for that one. Bogardus technically the intended receiver, but that one will most likely do it there for the Buffaloes. 31-24, Javelinas take over with 1 minute and 2 seconds to play.
3rd interception for Nick Gerber in tonight's contest. So again, uncharacteristic of kind of how he's played. He's trying to air it out, but the defender, this particular case, was Isaiah Jacobs, who has his second interception. Just played back so deep, playing center field, he was able to pull that one in and come away with a loose ball. Javelinas control it now, 31-24 with 1:02 left to play. So they're obviously going to run out the clock. Buffaloes are down to 2 timeouts. So here's a rush. And they'll get it to Anderson, who will get up across the 15 to the 17-yard line. And Christian Anderson on the night. Again, not only has he done a nice job rushing the football, he also has 3 receptions in this ball game tonight for 19 yards. And so he's had a good evening all the way around, but that's his 32nd carry for 155 yards. Timeout taken by the Buffaloes as they stop the clock with 56 seconds left to play. Picks up 3 on the carry, so that'll bring up 2nd down and 7. And so the Javelinas will come out. They'll keep everything on the ground because they want to force the Buffs to use all their timeouts. And so Buffs with 1 timeout left in this one. They'll be able to stop it one more time. Anderson goes off the left side, and he's going to be taken down. And that'll give him about a 4-yard pickup. Clock is stopped with 51 seconds. That's the last timeout for WT.
By Antonio Iwagu.
Iwagu able to make the stop. So the Buffaloes take the timeout with 51 seconds left. And again, some nice plays tonight for the Buffs, but just some inconsistencies offensively. Nick Gerber, 12 of 26, 250 yards, thrown for 2 touchdowns, but he's also thrown 3 interceptions in this ball game tonight. While Cavazos is 18 of 24, 214 yards, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception on the evening. Actually, he has 2 interceptions on the evening. And so, and Christian Anderson, 33 carries, 163 yards. Leading rusher for the Buffs tonight is Isaiah Smallwood, 13 carries for 50 yards in this one this evening. And again, this will push the Buffs to 2-1 on the season, but 0-1 in Lone Star Conference play. Christian gets to the outside, and he is going to be, they're going to say he's down. And so the ball comes free. And so they stop the clock with 40. Well, they don't stop the clock. Still running. Officials should stop the clock. Now they do. 35 seconds left. So Anderson was down. They have him down at the 24-yard line. And so that'll bring up 4th down. But because they advanced the ball, they were able to stop the clock. So they didn't put any time back on the clock. They haven't started winding it yet. Now they have. And really, because the play clock is longer than what and that's what Hunter Hughes is upset, because they didn't put any time back on the field or back on the clock, and they're just letting them run the play clock down. And so they didn't put any on. After they stopped the clock continued to run. And Hunter's going out to express himself to the referee, wants to know why there was no time put back on the clock, and they ran it down. And so that'll be the ball game as the Kingsville Lions come away with a 31-24 win over the Buffaloes in this one tonight. Hunter's still over there arguing with the officials, and so he has a point on that particular one where he just did not get any time put back on the clock when they advanced the ball. They advanced it, and they allowed for about an extra 10 seconds to run off the clock, and he wanted the time put back on. But again, the final tonight, Texas A&M-Kingsville with a 31-24 upsetting the number 14 team in the country. We'll take a timeout. We'll do so and come back, get into our post-game show. But first, this break on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
Be sure to join us.
Since 1933, the Panhandle Plains Historical Museum has housed the vast history of Panhandle Plains, given back to the community, and provided educational resources to those who live here. Located on the campus of West Texas A&M University, PPHM is free to all students, faculty, and staff at WT. We offer volunteer opportunities, internships, and hands-on research experience. From prehistoric times to pioneer travels, there's something for everyone at the largest history museum in Texas. Stop by and see us sometime. Oh, and don't forget, go Buffs!
Went for a onside kick, landed on my knee pretty hard and ended up fracturing my femur. I ended up having to go back and have surgery. Even the day after I had surgery, I was back in the clinic here. It's nice to have people help me rehab at a caliber of what I'm used to feeling like I can do. One thing that I really liked was having the access to the turf, because that's what I'm used to playing on. Now, I mean, it feels like nothing had ever happened. You have a choice of where you can go. This is one of the best places in Amarillo.
Well, welcome.
Back here with head coach Hunter Hughes. Buffs fall tonight to Texas A&M-Kingsville by the final of 31-24. Back and forth battle, especially in the second half. Your thoughts, Coach, on this game tonight with the Javelinas?
Can't have 5 turnovers and a blocked field goal and expect to win the game.
Thank you. Buffs fall to Texas A&M-Kingsville again, 31-24. We'll go back upstairs to Bryce and have the post game with you.
All right, thank you very much, Lucas. Again, the Buffs lose this one 31-24, and I think the coach very succinctly summed that up, where you can't have 5 turnovers, and that's what happened to this one. 3 interceptions, obviously a fumble recovery on a punt, and a couple others that occur, block punt or block field goal attempt. And so that's kind of the things that have him, I'm sure, going to lose some sleep tonight as we look at our statistics in this one. And so as we kind of take a look, here's the final score, 31-24, and I think I kind of jumped ahead of you guys. Sorry about that. I'll just kind of read through some of these a little bit. Rushing yards tonight for Kingsville, 133 on 48 rushes, and we know that's not really accurate because I know their quarterback lost a lot, but their main running back in tonight's contest, Christian Anderson, had 173 yards on 34 carries. And so, again, 133 yards is what they have officially because of the sacks that the quarterback took in this one tonight. For the Buffaloes, they had 103 yards on 38 carries, and that's the big thing. They were able to get going tonight. They tried. This is what they wanted to do. They wanted to establish the run, but just never could get it going. Passing 250 for the Buffaloes. When you take a look at it, Nick Gerber was 12 of 26, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he had those 3 interceptions. He was sacked twice, while Jacob Cavazos, 18 of 24 with 2 interceptions, 214 yards. He also had 2 touchdowns in this one tonight. And some of the things that stick out in this, the time of possession, we were talking about that one. Kingsville, 36 minutes and 19 seconds to the Buffs, 23-41. Third down conversions, 7 of 18 for Kingsville. Buffs were 6 of 16. And fourth down conversions, 1 of 2 for Kingsville. The Buffs were 2 of 2, but red zone scoring chances, Kingsville was 3 of 4 in tonight's contest, while WT was 1 of 2. Individually, looking at it as we talked about, Christian Anderson, 34 carries, 164 net yards, 2 touchdowns on the night. Roger Hagan, 7 carries for 6 net yards. in tonight's contest. Jacob Cavazos was 18 of 24 with 2 interceptions, 214 yards, and he also had 2 touchdowns on the night. And then Craig Clements had 4 catches for 103. Jackson Allen 4 for 44 in the passing department. Ezra Thibodeau had 6 tackles, so really not a lot on the defensive side for Kingsville. For the Buffaloes, Isaiah Smallwood, 13 carries for 50 yards, Nick Gerber, 12 of 26 for 250 yards and 3 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. Hunter Kaufman, 8 receptions for 40. Shaq Brown, 3 receptions for 84 and a touchdown. Noah Bogardus, 8 receptions for 81 yards and a touchdown. And really, this is, one of the highlights tonight is the punt of Ali Yard.
Yeah, Ali Yard, he was good, Bryce.
He had 5 punts for 49-yard average. 68 was his longest. And so, again, Lucas, as you make your way back up here, you knew the conversation wasn't going to be good with Hunter Hughes, and he was just succinct and really, he's correct.
Yes.
5 turnovers, you can't win a game.
Quick analysis, but the right analysis, right?
You can't win a game with 5 turnovers, and so that is something that they're really going to dwell on, obviously, and kind of go through over the course. And unfortunately, they go on the road next week down to San Angelo to take on the number 5 team in the country.
Well, remember our term at the beginning of the game, Tanoga.
Yeah, exactly.
The takeaways and no giveaways. And it was a huge story tonight for Texas A&M-Kingsville. Mike Salinas, congratulations to the Javelinas. For him, Bryce, a signature win. I mean, this is the biggest win for Texas A&M-Kingsville. Yeah, because now, Bryce, they're 3-0. They go back home next week and play Eastern New Mexico, which now Kingsville has to be careful not to, get puffed up too much.
Right.
Respect every opponent, but you're at home. Your crowd's going to be excited. Now you're 3-0.
You had a big win. Right.
And so they've set themselves up nicely. Now, for WT, you go on the road next week and take on at least number 5, if they don't move up even further than that, Angelo State. The thing for the Buffs, they will be on the road, and Angelo State is a very quality opponent, but WT does have this, that they have beaten Angelo State in recent years a few times, so they're not going to be intimidated. And what you hope as well as a Buffalo fan is you hope to get back some players. You need JT Cavender out there.
Yep.
Xavier Rivera, Adam Alcorta. I think the Buffs missed him up on that offensive line as well.
Yeah, and when you lose your left tackle, that's the big thing. And again, I know he switches from left to right side, but they start him out as a left tackle. And so that's a security blanket for your quarterback. And so you could kind of tell Nick, again, never felt comfortable in this one tonight. Credit Kingsville's defense with some of that issue. But again, they just never really got in sync offensively in this one this evening. And credit Kingsville, they're enjoying it as they're staying out on the field, as you can see, enjoying this big up. And you're right, it's a big upset for them, and it's great for their program. I'll remind you, too, that we have the Marble Depot big hits that we have coming up for you momentarily, and that'll be the big hits of tonight's ball game. And there were several of those as well. Don't forget, too, the next time the Buffaloes will be at home will be for homecoming, and that'll be against University of Texas Permian Basin, UTPB, and that will be an emotional game as well.
Quick update, Bryce, before we go to the break and then finish out with the big hits. Midwestern State completes a huge comeback. They come from behind. They trailed the entire game against Michigan Tech, and Midwestern State comes back, and they get the win tonight by the final of, where did that one go? Just had it up there, 28-21 in Wichita Falls. So the Mustangs pick up the win there. Also, nearing a big win. Talk about a party in Silver City. Western New Mexico leads with just 2 minutes and 46 seconds left in the game, 35-30 over Western Oregon. That would be a big victory for Western New Mexico if they're able to pick up that one. Angelo State won on the road tonight, 34-21 over UT Permian Basin. And again, a final, Central Washington defeats Simon Fraser 40-7.
So some good games going on in the Lone Star Conference. And, of course, this one here tonight was emotional. I wouldn't necessarily say it was one of the better games for the host team, but it was a big win for Kingsville on the road, coming out to pick up the 31-24 victory.
All right, we thank everybody for watching the broadcast here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. Again, Marble Depot big hits of the game coming your way after this break. We thank everybody for watching in on the broadcast. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time here from Bain Schaefer Buffalo Stadium.